We're back. The time is now.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Geordie Yam Yam and Derek the Mighty Wing. Weekdays from 8 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. USA. NUFC Talk.
We're looking professional this evening. Absolutely. That's the American mag for you, doing all the biz. Behind the scenes, that was brand new to me. Never mind you guys out there in Viewerland. So, welcome on board this evening. I hope you're well. Myself, the Geordie Yam Yam. We've got the Mighty Win, and we've got, of course, the man himself, the myth, the man, the legend, also known as Boki. With us this evening, we're gonna
man, the Mackham,
the secret Mackham. We are going to start this evening. Obviously, it's a 3-hour show, so like I say, we are trying to break it up into sections. The lads from 9:30 will be talking all things news regarding Newcastle. But we're going to start the show off with probably a little bit of a look at Spursy. Seem a bit of a different outlet now, if I'm honest with you. New management, a couple of new players. Look a strong side. So we're going to have a look at them and see where we go. But before we do all that, let's do the housework and then we'll crack on with the show. So welcome to everybody across all of the platforms that are watching. Thanks to everybody that works in the background doing an amazing job. Don't forget, people out there in Viewerland, if you could, smash that like button for us. It certainly helps us get further as a channel. Subscribe. It's totally free. Hit that bell for future content. We're always live. We do a lot of content. So if you hit that bell, you'll get a 30-minute warning to say that we're on air. If you want to help us grow, you can become a member, small monthly fee. There's only one level now to choose from, so take your pick. It's that one. If you've got a question for either of us, and including Boki, in the chat, then please try and put a Q in front of it. It just helps us get to that question, and it just makes it different to everybody else's. But again, apologies if we don't mention all of you guys that have put the messages in the chat. It's very difficult to keep up these days with all you guys out there. So if you can and if you want to guarantee it, then use the $sign. Throw us a Talk TV super chat and that'll guarantee that message read out. Anybody that becomes a member during the show or any of our beautiful members out there that will want to gift the members or new members, you'll be highlighted as well as we go. And don't forget, if you still want to, there's still plenty of time to catch up. It's a £5 entry fee to participate in the Prediction League. Try saying that when you've had a few like win. All you got to do is predict as many scores, correct scores. Not today. It's tea total. Well, coffee total. Try and predict Newcastle scores going forward. Very difficult. So there's plenty of time to catch up. The top 6 get a prize. Top 4 cash. 5th and 6th get a prezi. More to the value of your starting fee. So
more than the value.
More than the value. So, gentlemen, are we good? Are we okay? Are you vested in this week's entertainment?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There seems to be a bit of a dichotomy of opinion regarding the sort of team that we should put out against Tottenham. And do we take the Carabao Cup as seriously as we have done in the past? Or do we consider that the Premier League and the Champions League should be the major objectives and play weaker teams, if you like, in the Carabao Cup? Now, I am firmly of the opinion that we should take every competition seriously. We are not sufficiently established and too big for our boots to think that we can field weakened sides in the Carabao Cup and still progress to the latter stages as a lot of the bigger clubs do. Bigger clubs, you know, we're talking arguably Spurs, who did play a weakened side in the last round, but let's be honest, that was against Doncaster Rovers, so reasons for that. We did to a degree against Bradford and did okay, but I think if we try and take any liberties against Spurs, we'll get our pants taken down. I don't know where you guys stand on that.
I think decisions have to be made when know about rotation. I mean, for example, the right back and the left back that we've got playing at the minute have both played quite a lot of games in a row, especially for lads at their time of career and age. So you do have to start to rotate them players, and it's sort of making the decision in what games you do that. And I think the Carabao Cup has to be one of those competitions where you do start to try to develop some younger players and give some players who aren't getting game time out. So it's not necessarily about making the team weaker. It's about giving lads a chance and getting some rotation going around the squad.
And that would be fine if those two positions that you've mentioned we had cover for. But of course, the two that are currently playing are the cover for the two that are injured, Tino and Lewis Hall. Now, I understand what you're saying. Bring Kraft in, give Kraft the game, and bring even young Murphy in and give him a game at left back, which is, again, not really his position. Again, you're asking a left-sided centre-back to play a left back, which is what Dan Burns getting all the criticism for right now. And you're suggesting that we'd do that with an untried, untested kid from the under-21s.
Could try with the easy response of he couldn't do much worse, but I won't do that.
Oh,
but no, I think you have to. We can't go week in, week out with Burn playing left back. And this isn't just because I don't think he's playing well. This is down to the fact of his age. He has to be given some time out of the team.
well, I can honestly say Alex Murphy won't be in the side on Wednesday as he's playing tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the under-21s are playing away. I think it's at Sutton tonight, Sutton United, for their game against Crystal Palace. Their team, as we speak, is Max Thompson, Leo Shahar, who again was and has been training with the first team, Alex Murphy, another one, Cathal Heffernan, Miodrag Pivos, I can never say his first name. He's the one that I want to start having a good look at, because I've been, having a look at this lad past, and he looks a quality player. Still hasn't quite settled in yet, but he's looking better every game I watch him. Scott Bailey, Alfie Harrison, Anthony Munda, Sean Neve, Park Song-soo, and Bryson. And again, the lad that we've been really singing his praises, and I think again, I'm not 100% sure why we go into some cup matches with two goalkeepers on the bench when you've got this young lad who seems to be back to where he was before his drop off with that injury. But again, got the assist tonight for Anthony Munda on the 20th minute to go 1-0 up. Lovely cross. Munda's got a header in on goal. And again, Munda showing lots, probably for me, showing a lot more of an improvement than Alfie Harrison, who was obviously the expensive young lad from City.
He was the big hope, wasn't he?
Yeah, and to be fair though, and I have to give credit where credit's due, because what the coach has done now for the under-21s has played a 10. They've got young Sean Neve dropping into a hole, if you like, and Bryson playing as the 9. And it seems to be working. It seems as though, Alfie Harrison looks comfortable sitting a little bit deeper with Munda, who can, he's very much a box-to-box type of player. Lots of energy. People will say, well, come on, they're only kids. But, you've still got to have a brain. And it looks as though this setup at this present moment in time, even though a lot of the results haven't gone for them, they still look a little bit iffy at the back, if I'm honest. But they certainly look more solid. If you think you're away from home tonight, in the first half, I think it's just started the second half. In the first half, 70% of possession was for Newcastle. They've had 5 shots on target and 2 off target. So, as you can see, even going away from home, these lads
Well,
now
it's
are
certainly good
starting
because
to gel.
Palace have got a good academy, as we can tell by all the players they've brought through. Just a couple of quick super chats, Gary.
Go for it, mate. Yeah.
Warren's in saying, Borky, you looked lost when Wynn said dichotomy. And Andrew Borwick is saying, Spurs will make changes. We have the stronger squad. Do you think they will make changes?
Well,
I struggle to tell the difference between one thing and another, to be honest. He's probably quite right.
I would have to have a look at that up. Anyway, I tell you, for me, the one thing with Spursy, and we'll have to...
Thanks, Warren, and thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. You've got to understand that Spurs made a lot of changes against Doncaster. Did we really do a lot of changes against Bradford? We didn't, did we? We brought in a couple of players. Nothing really changed the mentality that Eddie Howe seems to be trying this season, and that is pushing the lads. It's a 22 or 23 days where you've got these 7 games all blocked in, and he seems to be pushing the same lads to do and try and achieve across all competitions. That's why I keep asking, are they keeping a little bit left in the locker room when it comes to the Premier League? Is it as important this season to retain the Carabao Cup? We are the winners last year. Is that something that Eddie Howe wants? Does he want a really good run in the Champions League? Because we all know that's where the money is, going into the PSR world. So for me, it's a case of, is Eddie Howe trying to, have the cake type of thing and eat all of it? Because sometimes, as we've seen, if we lose certain individuals from Newcastle, and I mentioned it at dinner time for the members only show, where we said, the question was, is Bruno carrying Newcastle, or are Newcastle giving the limelight to Bruno? As in, are we doing the same as we did for Isak? Are we making Bruno shine? And I think it's the first part. I think, if anything, if you look at some of our drop-offs in the Premier League especially, even Bruno's had bad games. And when Bruno seems to have a bad game, it seems to be a knock-on effect then for the rest of the lads. So if we make too many changes, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for a change, because I think it keeps depth of squad fit, because at the end of the day, you only get, knackered more if you're not involved in match day games. You can train as much as you want, but you're never going to get that mental shape if you're not involved. So for me, it's a case of, is this the opportunity for the likes of Asula to come in and start? Is it something that you can say, because he's not had a bad couple of appearances?
No.
Should we start Elanga? Should we start Harvey Barnes? Should we start Ramsey in the middle of the park?
You were saying we didn't make changes against Bradford. The Bradford lineup was Ramsdale in goal for starters.
Yeah, well, I don't class that as a change.
Which I certainly wouldn't be averse to. Kraft was right back. Chow and Botman played centre back, so no burn there. Miley came in for the, at the time, injured Tonali, and Asula came in for Voltemada. That was the team. And Elanga for Murphy, if you like. So that was the Bradford team. So there were quite a few changes. And I think that's absolutely sufficient. I think if you go change, I think for one thing, if you make wholesale changes, it doesn't give the players coming in the proper stage to perform on. If for example, if Miley comes in to replace Tonali, he needs to be playing with Bruno and J7. Otherwise, if you're bringing Miley and Ramsey in for the sake of argument and playing them with J7, it's not at all giving them the platform, A, the platform to perform on, and B, any build up of understanding with who they will be playing for in important in inverted commas games. So I think it's apart from anything else, it's unfair on the players coming in if you're suddenly putting them into a team which is completely different every time. But this was my objection with the way we conducted our pre-season. During everybody goes on about losing 7 games pre-season for the first time ever, kind of thing. But what they're failing to realise is that in none of those games did we play anything remotely resembling our full, tried and tested starting 11. And so, again, I don't think the players that were coming in were getting the opportunity to shine.
But I think you're right in what you're saying there, Win, in regards to bringing players in. I can completely see it from that point of view. However, the other point of view is that we've spent 250, 60 million pound in the summer, and we've got a better bench now. You've got to rotate these players round. You can't expect them to play as many games as we're going to have this season, just having the same team. You've got to bring new players in. And I think the more you do it, the more the players get to understand that they're all going to be playing with different players from week to week. And it's part of being a big team is that you sort of do this, you do rotate. And don't get us wrong, I agree with you on the other side that it's not fair sometimes on players that they come into a weakened team, but then it's still their time to shine when they do come in.
Well, you've heard my point of view. That's yours. Where do you stand on this, guys?
Well, I missed most of it because I was my computer decided to disappear. So apologies, Barker.
Bookie was just saying that despite my reservations about not giving them a fair stage to shine upon, we have to do it because we can't expect all these players to perform. And having spent £250 million in the summer, and me absolutely lauding the improvements that we've made to the bench, it should be perfectly feasible to rotate almost anybody.
Well, it's like we were saying now, and you can look at this from different avenues, right? So the couple, as much as we weren't fully at the races the weekend against Fulham, right? There's a couple of things that I took a massive note on, and there's a difference, right? If you look at where we were this time last year, right, virtually a similar position. Nothing really changes when it comes to places in the Premier League. But last year we hadn't really got involved in European competition. We still had lots of, we still had a very, I wouldn't say bad squad, but we didn't have players that could change games. Now, for me, the massive difference that I have seen this season compared to last is the fact that we are still in all competitions. It's still very, very early days, so there's still a lot of reward for Newcastle to set their stall out for. And the other thing for me is we've actually got players that can come into the side, and this is what we were talking about lunchtime. I said if you look at pace and stability, right? So you've got Pat Gordon on the left, you've got Murphy on the right. Murphy plays inside right mainly to try and get closer to Altamada, and he got behind the defenders a couple of times. Should have got a hat-trick the weekend if he hadn't got time to think about it. Then all of a sudden, when Fulham decide that, the worst is off now, Eddie Howe decides to ring the changes. Now, what I've seen with Eddie Howe, and I suppose I could say three things. What I've seen with Eddie Howe is he's willing to change things a little bit earlier. Right now, the only downside to that is it seems as though he's only pulling off the young uns. I'd like to see him start pulling off a couple of older professionals to see the type of reaction he gets from that, rather than wait to the 70-minute mark and then start pulling. But at least the players that come off the bench now, if you ever look at some of the reaction from the Fulham lads when they saw Harvey Barnes coming on, which is the inside left player, Ilanga coming on, who we know he's rapid, not really giving us anything going forward. But if everybody watches closely, it was Ilanga's winning of the ball, his speed. When Bassi plays that cross-field ball, it's that closing of the space from Ilanga, utilising that speed, that wins the ball back for Asula to go on his run, to get the shot off, for Bruno to get up. And the final point to me is, what I see from Newcastle now, even though they have those sluggish moments in periods of the game, they're fighting till the 95th minute to go and get that win. Now, only good teams can do that. What Newcastle have to do is have a little bit more control of that game. And I think at the minute we are still a little bit ragged. We've seen it, it's there. The proof is in the pudding. We've still got a lot of players within this Newcastle side that don't seem to have the ability to have composure and slow the game down when they need to, retain possession, draw the opposition on, and then hit them on the break, utilising all these new players that you're getting off the bench. The game changers that we never had before are there. And it's how Eddie Howe now utilises these fresh players, because they're not bad players. What for me is it's taking a few a bit longer to actually hit the ground running. Ilanga, to name one of them. I think Malik Chow was outstanding. I think that's the best £30-odd million.
Yeah.
That
the best
Newcastle has spent.
done this summer. That's
Absolutely. You look at value for money. He to me, he's, if not better than Mark Gay, the way he plays football. I think he can be one of those players that sees us going forward for a few years. Now, forgive me, because I haven't really looked into the Botman situation. Now, is he on the concussion radar after his head injury? Because I've seen two reports.
When they scored, their play, because VAR even looked at it, their player, they were both going for the ball. Their player got it, but whacked into the back of Botman's head, and he was lying on the touchline for a few seconds. And that was allegedly what he came off for, concussion.
From all I've seen, it's a cut. The reason he came off was because there was something there, but it wasn't concussion. So he hasn't fell under the concussion rules.
Great, cool. So he's clear for Wednesday.
Yep, and can I just say as well, this is the first time I've ever heard Win praise Chow, so I'm glad you're coming over to the right side on that one.
I've never complained about Chow. All I've said is that I'm not yet hanging out the streamers the way everyone else is.
But that's the first time I've heard you be actually positive about him in a statement. I'm just saying that's a good thing.
No, it's for you. Chow's done nothing wrong. He's a definite improvement on Shea, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Warren's saying 3 ways to look at it, really. Thank you for your super chat, Warren. 3 ways to look at it, really. Start strong. Start with changes or go for form. Bearing in mind, why is the easier game on paper is harder to get? Well, we certainly find that, I think, that we'll find the easier games harder to get over the line, as was proven on Saturday.
I don't think with the squad we've got now, we're taking liberties or taking the mick out of the competition by rotating players. I think in the past we would have, but as long as we don't go in and put like a youngster team out and try like a lot of the bigger teams used to do or still do with this competition.
Still do, we're going to say, yeah.
As long as we're still playing with squad players who are in the squad week in, week out, it's not diminishing or calling the competition at all. It's managing our team and games in the right way. And I think that's a little bit what Eddie has to do moving forward, is manage the games.
So let's assume that he makes all these changes and essentially proves that as a conglomerate, the bench is much weaker than the starting 11, and we get turned over. What is then the repercussions in terms of criticism for Eddie? Because I can't see making changes and rotating the squad being an acceptable excuse for all of the ones that have got their knives out for him.
But Eddie, if Eddie starts managing in the style that he's worried about what might happen if we lose a game, he's not doing a great job as a manager. He's not the right man to be a manager. What he has to do is what he thinks is best for that squad, and he has to manage that squad the best way he can. And you can't manage the squad based on the fact of your own job. You've got to manage it on what is the best for the squad for the season.
That's easy for you to say.
It is.
You can't manage the squad based on your own job.
That's what top managers do. A top manager would not be. And if you're saying now that Eddie Howe is managing this team based on worrying about his own job, then we've got major concerns.
No, well, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying, what will you be saying on Wednesday in the match reaction if he does the rotation that you say, and as certainly as I suspect, if we make wholesale changes against this Spurs outfit, who are currently sitting third in the Prem, doing very, very well. They've made some good summer signings. They've got an excellent manager in Frank. I've always liked him. And
but that's not the point that needs to be made, Win. It isn't the point of what would happen if. It's the fact that we've got a good squad now. Eddie should be able to manage that and be able to bring players in and take players out, and it shouldn't affect the way we play as much.
And I'm sure he will, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be the wholesale changes that maybe you are asking.
I'm not saying wholesale changes. I'm saying keep the back two if you want as they are, but I'm saying change the wing backs simply down to their age. And that's the only reason I'm saying that. The two wingers, I don't think there's a fag paper between them. They can change around. Maybe play Ramsey instead of J7. And to be honest, that would probably potentially Asula instead of Voltamara, just to give him a rest.
Yeah, well, I think Asula has possibly earned his place. I'm not so sure that Voltamara would appreciate being rested, because I think Voltamara is aching to justify his.
But again, that's about management of the players. It's about Eddie explaining to him. It's not a 20-game season at the start of the season. It's the 50, 60-game season at the end of the season.
Except if we get BT, it'll not be a 50-60 game, it'll be a 45-50 game. And if we draw Man City away in the third round of the FA Cup, it'll be a 40-game season.
I don't know where you're getting them figures from, because that's a hell of a lot less than it actually will be.
Yeah,
but
we've got 38 in the Prem, 8 guaranteed in the Champions League. There's 46. We've played one game already in the Carabao, was 47. If we'll get BTL, that's 48.
But as I say, if you're looking at it, we're getting beat because we're rotating.
That's my worry.
We've got a good squad now. You can't.
I know we've got a good squad, but a good squad for me means that you can take off one or two players, not 3 or 4. We haven't got that good a squad that we can take off 3 or 4 players.
I disagree with that.
I disagree. You've got to do that during the season.
when you look at the lads that are coming back, right? I mean, Yano has just put in the chat there. We have a bench: Hall, Livramento, Ramsey, Wisser, Ramsdale. That's not much worse than the present starting 11. Well, I
Except
would
we haven't
say
got that bench, have we?
no. But what I'm saying, when they come back, if you look at the
Yeah,
depth
when
of
you've got
squad,
them all back, I agree.
yeah.
But
But no, hold on. Let's go back a bit. Don't forget, Spurs have got 9 first-team players out. Right at the minute, we've got 4. So when you look at it, and I'm caught, you've got to say our fullbacks, the same as Spurs, are the place that's been hit massively, right? So that is a must. But Spurs are in the same situation. So I think there's got to be a little bit of leeway when it comes to making, when you say lots of changes. If these 11 have been bought in by your coach to be fighting for the 11 spot and a shirt, then to me, there's no gamble. Because why would you buy somebody? And I'm taking Asula, excuse me, out of the equation when I say this, because Asula was a gamble by Tyndall. But he has started to show a little bit more of what he can bring into the side. But apart from him, who else in that on the bench is a doubt? Because Harvey Barnes, we now can produce the goods when he wants to. I'm still wanting to see Alanga produce the goods when he does. Ramsey needs game time. It's a must to see Ramsey back in a shirt. Kraft needs game time because, like I say, he's been carrying a knock and needs that game time because, as daft it looks, apart from one game, he's not featured at all. And we're coming up to week 10 in the Premier League. So if you have Kieran Trippier go down and pull a hamstring now because he's doing, weekend, midweek and weekend back to back, 34 years old. I was corrected. I said 33 earlier. It's 34. You are putting a lot of pressure on individuals. And that's what I said. This team, apart from the few now, is an Eddie Howe team. So he has to start saying to these lads that he's put all the faith in and spent good money on to start the game. Because for me, and you've said it yourself, this is the best squad I've seen at Newcastle. And I must admit, I haven't seen a squad, not perhaps as in the starting 11 as strong, but a squad as a whole as strong at Newcastle for years, if ever. So there's a point of what you were saying before is absolutely spot on. But when I've put a team out here, and apart from the obvious, I don't think there's far wrong with this team. I'm going to put it up on the screen now. And when you look at it, for me, this is a strong side. I mean, yeah, you've got to play Dan Burn left back. You're probably going to play Malik Chow at left centre back. Bring Shaw in. You've got Ramsdale in goal. Bring Kraft in. You've got Bruno and Tonali in the middle with Ramsey. You've got Barnes. You've got Ilanga, and you've got Asula. Now, like I said, apart from Asula, who was the gamble, that to me is still a very strong side. So should there be, I've put the Spurs side who played against Doncaster. That was their setup against Doncaster. Yeah. So
well,
again,
like I say, if they play the side they played against Doncaster, then I wouldn't have any problems with it.
okay.
But will they is the thing.
But when I don't think that side Gary's got up is taking any mick out of this competition, that's a strong side.
That's a strong
I'm not
side.
saying I'm not even bothered about taking the mick out the competition. I'm on about progressing in the competition.
But I think that team should be able to progress in the competition. It's a strong Premier League team.
And don't forget what you've got coming off the bench if it ain't working.
So that you're saying it's a strong Premier League team. Where would you expect that team right there to finish in the Prem?
Well, I said stronger Premier League team. I've just realised he's got Dan Burn as left back, so would probably finish bottom half if we're that. But if you put Murphy in at left back, I think would be mid-table. It's a mid-table Premier League team.
I think that is a relegation Premiership team.
with Tonali, Elanga, Barnes,
With Murphy, Asula.
Bruno, Chow, Ramsdale, Shaw. You think that's relegation team?
Yep. Because it's the difference between the difference in teams in the Premier League is quality throughout top quality throughout the 11. Teams can get away with having nine very good players and just about carry 2, because we've done it on many an occasion.
I mean, I feel up front there's an issue with this team, but the core of that team is strong.
But that's the hardest thing to do, is score goals.
Well, you look at the players that Spurs are missing: James Maddison, Ben Davies, Dragusin, not really bothered about him, Kulusevski, Solanke, Bissouma, Udogie, Takai, Romero. I mean, these guys are all decent players that won't be available for this game. 9 players missing. Like I say, full-backs, wing-backs, the system that Frank likes to play. He can't. So he's having to change and rotate players. And like I said, I watched the Monaco game, which was a very, very poor game, just to have a look at Spurs. It was a bad pick of the bunch. You're absolutely right. But it gave me an insight to what and where they are still vulnerable. And these guys are so vulnerable at the back. And when you look at the likes of Spence, who he's now got that England call up, and he seems to be doing very well, seems very comfortable. We know Van der Ven at the back. I mean, they played Polino, who would be their defensive midfielder at the back against Doncaster. And we know what Porro gives them. So when you look at 3 out of that back 4, a bit of a makeshift. I mean, I can see somebody like the likes of, bear with me for a second, Danso probably coming in, who was that would be the same back 4 that played the weekend, that beat Everton 3-0 away at Goodison Park. I mean, Simmons was played out on the left-hand side, if you look at that team. So again, what type of team are they going to put out? I mean, Moani, you've got Tell. I've got Moani in there. It was Tell who was up front against Doncaster. Not even Moani. Moani played against Everton. So they have got, even Richarlison, if they want. I mean, that's a strong 3. I mean, we were linked with Kaolo Moani for a very short while. I mean, I've not really rated Tell, if I'm honest with you. But, when you look at what we've got to come on in our front line, and I've just seen NUFC Truth come in and say, isn't Wissa available for this one? Well, no, I believe Wissa won't be available. Apparently, he's back around about the 11th of November. That's the rumours. But like I say, until I see,
let's get a couple of these through our chest, because we're falling behind, guys.
Go on.
We've got conglomerate boogie. Chris Dictionary Corner. Changes are, and he's reckoning Ramsey, Asula, Elanga, Keeper, and Shea, which is what you've actually got in there. Gary, in it.
Yeah. Like I say, I can't. I mean, if you wanted to go pace, but again, I can't see a problem with having a go with Barnes, because Barnes gives you what Gordon hasn't given us at the minute, and that's a goal.
I'm not sure what that one means. Can anybody translate that for me, please? Boogie, you're correct. I mean, that's the first significant
I think you just
thing.
Forget the rest of that.
I think we're just Boogie, you're correct. Where's dramatically inept? Where's, I don't know what where's could be. Elaborate, Warren.
Yeah, elaborate on that one. But again,
win is dramatically
inept.
And is that grammatically? Is he using text to speech or speech to text?
NUFC Truth has said, Gary, we all know apart from Tonali and Chow, Spurs have a better squad than us. Bruno is a moments man, but world class. But Spurs have 3 top strikers. if I was, when I look at Spurs now, to still see where they have got the strength, and it is up at the top end, if you like. I mean, they've got a lot of attacking players. I mean, I haven't
I've
even
got a lot of attacking players out, by the way, as you rightly say. Madison and Kulishevsky are
and
big
Solanke.
misses.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, don't forget, there's Kudus to come in as well. So, you know, you look at these players that I'm putting on the bench, Bergvall, you know, they still have depth, you know, in the side. You're right. There's a lot of guys that aren't there, you know, but I still believe that we have to play really well to get something out of this team. And like I said,
exactly. I think we have to play really well to get something as well.
Yeah, and then you've also got to take into account, and again, this is why I think there will be lots of changes for Spurs, and I'm not saying for any doubt that it won't be, but they play Sunday, they've got Wednesday, and then they play Saturday, so they have had less a break throughout the week than Newcastle have. So we played on Saturday. We play Wednesday and then we play Sunday. So we've got extra days added onto our week compared to Spurs. So is the emphasis more on Spurs' head to make overall changes? And again, apart from the back line, they've got lots to choose from, middle of the park as well as going forward. Or is it going to be same old, same old? You know, are they going to just go out there and say, well, I'm going to push the lads that played against Everton and I'll look to ring changes the weekend if I need to?
I mean, firstly, we've got to play bloody well to beat that Spurs team because I think they've got about 15 players on the pitch.
They have. I haven't even put the referee on there yet, Boki. You're all right, mate.
The other side of the coin is as well, I think at times we need to, and I've said this before, we need to stop worrying about opposition teams. That team we've got out there is a good team. It's a strong lineup for a cup competition. And you do have a different team in some cup competitions than you do in the Premier League. That's always been the case ever since I watched football. That's a good team for the Carabao Cup to go out. And as I say, I would have no worries at all if Eddie does that. And if we do lose with a team like that and, you know, they've went out and they haven't played well, then I'll be the first on here to say at least Eddie's made the right decision in regards to rotating the team.
And what I say there is that's fantastic, but we're now out the cup.
Well, we are, but we're still in 3 other competitions.
And we've still given everybody a run out. I mean, I think it's like I said, for me, you've got to start asking the question is, have we got the players, as we've said before, in this squad now to go and compete over 4 competitions? I think that is the only question you have to ask yourself.
Well, I just think you don't have to make wholesale changes. Make 1 or 2 and rest them alternatively in the different competitions. But to be making 4 or 5 at a time is just breaking up for me, it's breaking up the continuity of the team.
But I think we all accept that Eddie can't do that. Because of the start we've made in the Premier League, he's got to keep his Premier League team as his strongest team. In regards to the cup competitions, that's the time to start rotating. I don't think anybody's saying make wholesale changes. I think what we're saying is change, especially the peripheries of the team.
If you're changing 5 players, you're changing nearly half the team. That's pretty wholesale by my.
But you're keeping the core of the team together. If you keep the back 2 in the midfield 3, at least 2 of them in there, you're keeping what makes us tick over in the team. You've got to do it. When we can't go through a season in 4 competitions and not rotate.
If I'm honest with you, if that's what Eddie decides to do and not rotate players, I can't see the point in buying them. He might as well have literally stuck what you were saying, Boki, and said, you know, I'm going to put 100 million on him and 100 million on him because these 2 can walk straight into my first team, rather than build the squad to rotate and support the rest of the lads when they need a break, rather than bringing them on bits and babs. Because, you know, for me, you know, if you spend over £200 million, you're expecting the players that they have signed to be competing for you. It may not walk into the side, but surely they've got to be competing. And how are you going to see how good that competition is for that 11 for the 11 shirts if you don't get to watch them in a competitive match? So for me, not only does it give the coach some of the players a break with the coach, it also allows the coach to see these lads play in a competitive match and look for West Ham the weekend and say, have I got winners in this new lineup that I've got here that can go and compete or give me something different at West Ham? If he's just going to rely on the same 11.
What I would say to that is I would rather play a weekend lineup at West Ham than a weekend lineup on Wednesday night.
But he can't do that when he's
in the Premier
League at the minute. He's being judged on his Premier League position.
West Ham are dogs at the minute. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they are, but I mean they've been dogs for a while yet, and we only beat them 1-0 last season.
Beat them, we did.
But we did. That's what I said. But it's been a struggle, and like I said, we've not
win, man. Me thumb is numb. It's cold, you know.
And you know what I was going to ask you guys, because this is something that we also complained massively about last season. It's United's third home game in a third different competition during a 9-day period on Wednesday. That's uncanny. Do you not think?
Well, it makes a change from the previous seasons, doesn't it? When we've
that's what I'm saying.
Been drawn away.
It's crazy to think, third home game in the third different competition.
But that's 2 home draws that we've come out at, 2 cup draws that we've come out first.
Yeah.
But over the past few years, our look in cup competitions draw-wise has been horrendous.
This isn't being awful, but we need to make sure as well the crowd are up for it against Tottenham on Wednesday night. Because in the cup competition, sometimes there has been a difference in atmosphere in the ground. I don't know if you agree with it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because
you've got to get the team up for it.
It's because, there's a lot of the regular season ticket holders who didn't take up their cup options. So you get a lot of quote-unquote novelty fans there. And kids, we want to encourage kids to come, and that's a good opportunity for them to get in. But they don't. I don't think they've got the energy. It's hard work, shouting through for 90 minutes.
Not if Blackburn's playing, it's not.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat asking about if it's televised. It is televised. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. And like I said, that's a great news for Newcastle again.
Sky, and it's on ITV.
ITV, but please, have it on the telly, but listen to us, because you always get the best coverage from us when it comes to, the watch along. So yeah, it's there. So the winners will take their place in the quarter-final draw, which will be staged after the full-time whistle. A couple of bit of information, if you like. Hat Sellers Football Bubbles will have a stall outside the Trent House pub from 5:30, and they accept cards. So there you go. So anybody that's looking for a hat on these cold autumnal nights, there you go. And ST holders on the Carabao Cup scheme gain access by using their season ticket as if it were a Premier League game. The latest fan advisory board minutes include the following line, suggesting that there's a change is permanent. For future domestic cup fixtures, tickets will be uploaded directly to season cards. Anything that you can add to that, Win?
Well, I was very late getting because I was worried what happened to my son, who's got the season ticket next to me. He got an email from the club saying that the ticket was automatically added to his season ticket, and I hadn't had that email. And I was frantically trying to ring, waiting online for the box office as usual for an hour on end. With it ring. Your call is important to us. Da-dee-da-dee-da. 1, 2, 3. Your call is in. And they haven't even got a queue number. They don't even tell you, where you are in the queue or anything. It's pathetic, basically. But and I've let them know in all of the we're getting inundated at the minute with surveys about one thing and another. And, I've let them know in no uncertain terms. I mean, once you get through, they're very helpful, but the time it takes to get through is a joke. What's Warren saying there? I think against Spurs, Borky should get us going. Empty.
I think I could be the pom-pom lad on the side of the pitch if you want.
Absolutely.
But do you not think with things like that with a club again, it's a bit disappointing because that's a quick thing they could have done with just an email to all season ticket holders who are in that situation, just saying this is what's happening.
Well, I mean, I did get the season ticket, the email eventually, but I got it 3 days after Chris, and I don't know whether that was purely because I'd rang up or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the email within, while I was on the phone to the box office. I said, we'll send you the email now.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm assuming the club have got your email address to have a season ticket. So why don't they just? They must have a batch email where they send out the season ticket holders.
Well, would have thought so.
If you're a season ticket holder, this is what's happening.
There seem to be a load of anomalies in the system generally.
Yeah, they do, don't they? And I think that's the problem, isn't it? You've got to. I mean, I agree with Bulky. The club has got to start sorting this out. I mean, I know everywhere, all over the country is going electronic. Seems to be the nature of the beast now. But they've got to make it easier for cup competitions and other fixtures, because it just seems at the minute it's just a bit of a pickle. Who have we got now? Here we go. Warren again.
Put me Willy Warmer on me thumb. Perfect fit.
I just hope it's clean, Warren.
I'm not going there. Just to carry on from the Carabao Cup scheme, members whose initial payment failed or who were relocated from their usual seat for this tie should have received an individual ticket. So any ticket inquiries, if you haven't already, the email is supporter.services@nufc.co.uk. So if you have any problems with that, there you go. There is other fourth round ties. Tuesday, we've got Grimsby Town versus Brentford, Wycombe Wanderers versus Fulham, Wrexham versus Cardiff, and on Wednesday we've got a couple of crackers, I suppose. Arsenal versus Brighton, 7:45. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, the ones who have beat them several times. Swansea City versus Man City, Wolves versus Chelsea, and Newcastle versus Spurs.
That was just an interesting fact about Fulham, of course, that meant Fulham, along with only one other club, have lost 4 Prem games on the trot.
On the trot, yeah.
Who was the other club? Good old Liverpool.
Yeah. Woohoo! It was an interesting one. Apparently, Spurs are backed by 4,900 fans for their third away trip in a week. Obviously, they've had Monaco, Everton away, and now a trip to the northeast. So their fans are going to be like our fans were last year.
But again, it's wrong that with a kick off. They are. We have the same problem going to London, of course, but you cannot get back.
No,
unless you're driving. There's no public transport at all that you can make in time if you stay, especially if it won't go to extra time, of course, but if it goes to penalties, even that adds sort of 20 minutes, half an hour on. So time you get to the station, far too late to get a train.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same allocation of Bradford City received in the last round. On that basis, expect temporary post-match closures of the walking route from Leesy's End into Barracks Road for home fans, as was the case against the Bantams. So it will be a little bit of a while to get the away fans out of the way of St James's Park. But I mean, it seemed to work okay for the Bradford game, so I suppose they're going to continue that. The referee for the game is Chris Kavanagh, second Newcastle game of the season so far for the Lancashire Whistler, following the 1-0 Premier League home success against Wolves. So
And
there
he
you
dished
go.
out 5 yellow cards.
Yes, indeed. He's a bit card happy, this lad. But I'm hoping he has a little bit
Well,
happier
as long as
times
he
than
had
we
a
had the
better
weekend.
game than what you can't have much worse a game than Peter Banks did on Saturday, because that was
No,
just atrocious.
The
yeah,
refs tend to be a little bit different in the cups, don't they? They seem to be a little bit more, not lenient, but sort of let things flow a little bit more.
Well, again,
yeah,
if you remember back to the Bradford game, Bradford were getting away with murder,
Yeah.
and then the first mini foul that J7 did, that cards are marked, I'm sure.
But it takes you back to the proper old days where referees would just let a game flow a little bit, wouldn't it? And yeah, things are going to happen on the pitch, but you expect that. Whereas the
yeah,
bits are all very sort of manufactured now to be the referees have to step in at every opportunity they can, basically, sometimes feels.
A bit of a funny one. I wanted to show you guys. There was a cracking picture of Voltamada that come to light on social media, but everybody took a shine to the board. If you can see the board just there,
Advertising board.
the advertising board are all the way around the ground. Invested in better, and everybody's taken a little bit of a shine to that, and had a big bit of a dig towards Slot, which made me titter. So well done, one and all, for everybody taking that one on board. Because, like I say, it's amazing when you get to that situation, isn't it, where you look at players in situ, and you get that right photograph moment, just the perfect picture, if you like.
You had to be there.
Indeed, it was a
Except you
perfect
didn't
one.
have to, because
I'm
you've
gonna
got
say-
photographic evidence.
Well, the trouble
But
is, you could,
by the way, on the subject of Altamora, that was some lovely footwork by him. It was, it was moments, but there was some lovely footwork by him. Particularly he was surrounded by 4 players, and he just hooked the ball back to Anthony Gordon for the crossfoot that Bruno should have buried, by the way. And that would have settled a few nerves at the time. But his footwork is something to behold.
yeah,
Do you
under
think
21s, by the way, sorry, mate, the under 21s have finished 2-0. Bryson got the second with the assist from Sean Neve.
There were no
well done.
Brayson's any relationship to Brassy,
I don't know. I've already looked at that one, and I'm thinking, is he somebody that should ring a bell? But I don't. I don't think he is, because
Do you
it's not
think-
highlighted anywhere.
Do you think with Altamora, long term, the team needs to change formation quite a bit to fit him in as a player?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the issue at the minute, that we're sort of sticking with the same formation that we've played for the last few seasons, but he doesn't really fit into that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think this could be a transition, and I think at the minute, as we highlighted earlier, what was noticeable the weekend with Voltamada is he swung to the left a little bit more, and I don't know whether that was something that Eddie had said to the lads, we need to get in and behind, so we're going to utilise the movement of Voltamada to allow Murphy to get in and behind, because Murphy seemed to have so much space to work in certain channels. I mean, the one thing you can say about Fulham, you are never going to be, they're never going to drop deep, are they? They were always going to try and push you at home. And like I say,
he's the son of Paul Brayson.
He is?
Paul Brayson. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
From George Stevenson High School.
There you go, Paul Brayson's son.
I had high hopes for him back in the day. He's 48 years old now.
48. 48 years young, you should say.
48 years young indeed.
I wish I was 48 again, I'll tell you now. And know what I know now.
That's the key.
That is the key. Let's have a little...
he said, Warren said, who are you? Are you turning into Frankie Howard?
No, I wished. Apparently, this is. I've just had this from our mate Connor. Apparently, Craig Hope's reporting Botman has no concussion. The Athletic reporting Antonio Cordderero to be recalled in January after his poor loan move. Newcastle United hoped Antonio Cordderero would play more on loan, but he hasn't obviously been involved, so they are bringing him back. There's also reports out there that Nottingham Forest Sean Dyche could be sacked following a secret meeting. So, and watch that space on that one.
Hey,
Yeah.
that would be the shortest tenure ever.
I'm not going to go into the details because it's not Newcastle based, but yeah, there's rumours that there's after a secret meeting that his head is already waiting to be swung.
Despite his 100% record.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of reports, again, coming for the January move, that Hayden Hackney, I don't know whether you know this Hayden Hackney. While I'm talking about it, he's the Middlesbrough buddy. He's Newcastle are willing to make a move for Middlesbrough 23-year-old midfielder Hayden Hackney this January for approximately 25 million. Last year, the Portuguese giants FC Porto made offers and are said to be still keeping the tabs on the Englishman. Meanwhile, the likes of Atalanta, Eintracht Frankfurt, Bayer Leverkusen are also showing lots of interest. That's an interesting one because, like I said, I've seen no reports on this lad whatsoever when it comes to that. You got any info on him, Win?
I'll just look it up now.
Cool.
I've never even heard of him, to be honest.
Well, I don't.
I hadn't until we were linked with him.
Something that I haven't really seen that much information of when it comes to it. Liverpool have turned their attention to Anthony Gordon and Antoine Semenyo as primary targets should they decide to refresh the right wing and left wing roles in January or next summer, replacing Salah and Gakpo. Keep this for the Newcastle News Show. There you go.
I think a lot of the time now you're going to get Gordon linked with that team, linked with Liverpool every time, every transfer window.
Yeah,
it's an easy write up for a journalist, isn't it? That's the problem with it.
And to be fair, I mean, as much as Anthony Gordon has come out and said, like, you know, he's 100% focused on Newcastle. When you've been swung the way he's been, you know, been pulled, if you like, and it's taken him an absolute age to get anywhere near his best for Newcastle. He seems to have been okay against very, very poor opposition for England. But when he's coming up against players of some quality, he doesn't seem to have, I don't know what it is at the minute, he doesn't seem to have the ability to beat them. I mean, I thought he played half decent the weekend. I didn't think there was that much more that he could have done, apart from obviously score a goal. But he beat his player, he committed. But like I say, he always seems to have a harder challenge than some wingers against our fullbacks at the minute. So, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Go, what's this saying? Swing to the right, your OBS or extroverted, Gary.
Oh, there's a.
Is he aware that we're on OBS? I'm not sure.
Who?
But it's Warren.
I think Warren might have swallowed a dictionary the night by some of his chats.
Obs are extroverted. I've no idea. You're going to have to.
I think he's talking about dress sense. He is swung to the left or swung to the right.
Right. I think you've been on the Guinness again, have you?
He's had at least half a can by some of these chats.
Thank
you for your super chat.
Indeed. Here's one for you. That I'm sure you'll like, Win.
So, as I say, Middlesbrough, they're riding high. They're second in the championship, and Hayden Hackney is ever present. His ratings are by and large in the green with a blue there as well. Just a couple of subpar performances and a couple of goals. So he's having a reasonable season in the Championship.
The problem with that is, though, that if he is having a good season in the Championship, by the time we get to January, if Middlesbrough are still in contention to go up straight away as either title contenders or in second place, the pricing's just going to go ridiculous.
Going to go with it, isn't it? Yeah.
So, you've got to take that into consideration as well.
But I think that's always going to be the way these days, isn't it? You've these things are always going to be on the time. Like I said, there's lots of European clubs also having a look at this lad. So, do you want to get yourself involved in a bit of a to and fro, bit of a haggle, or do you get in early? Like as well, it looks now. Newcastle are willing to go straight in for this lad as soon as the window opens. That's where the reports are. But again, when I look through all of the TF, the transfer formation, a lot of noise still is around Samu Aguilar. There's still a hell of a lot of chat looking at Samu for the January. Peter O'Rourke is reporting that Newcastle director Ross Wilson intends to speak to Bruno regarding a new contract. Obviously, we've spoken at length now about Tonali, obviously signing that secret one. They're now apparently talking to him to increase his money value with the club. So I think that will just keep everybody, I suppose, a little bit happier. Like I said, we talked about Keith Smith. He's another midfielder, 19-year-old from AZ Akmar. Apparently, that's been scouted. Nick Voltemada, apparently he's still being told, according to Bild, that Bayern Munich are watching him heavily. Pierre Kalulu, obviously, he's still on the cards for a Newcastle player swap, if they, according to Ekrem Kanur. I don't know who that lad is. They're preparing a 30 million offer for this lad, Kalulu, who was part of the negotiation where they inquired when Juventus inquired about Tonali. And obviously they was obviously told that Tonali was extended his contracts and he was no longer available. Must have been funny. One for you, Win, this one. According to, this has been sent by Jamie, at Newcastle pairing of, excuse me,
best.
The 20th best pairing of Burn and Shaw in the Premier League. Not bad, old man. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Is that this season a win relegation form of them two play?
I don't have any worries with them two playing centre back.
No, I don't. Burn and Shaw are brilliant centre backs.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think at this present moment in time to have the 4 or 5 players. I mean, like I say, you have got to feel sorry a little bit for Lascelles because he stayed on board even though there was a very slight glimmer for him to leave over the summer period, and he stayed on board. I can't see him ever getting into this side at all. When you look at the players still, I mean, even Shaw's struggling now. When you look at the lads that are there, you've got Malik Chow that can cover everywhere from right back to left centre. And I'm sure he'll still do a job for you at left centre back, at left back if you asked him to. He seems that good on the ball. To me, it's like I say, you look at the lads that you've brought in, and that's what I said to him before. These are players now that, for me, should be knocking on Eddie Howe's door saying, when am I going to get my chance? Because, you've brought me in. What's the point of me sitting on the bench? I could have stayed where I was to sit on the bench. If you're looking at Ramsey, just getting over his injury, he definitely needs game time to get him up to speed. And
I don't mind putting Ramsey in, but I wouldn't put Ramsey and Maley in together.
Well, Miley's played back to back now. Tonali could come back in. That's what I'm saying. For me, it would be Bruno, Tonali, and Ramsey in the middle. And yes, you are changing all three up front because, like, if you look at the amount of work that the three lads do up front, we have to be very careful at the minute with Voltemada. As much as I think, we haven't got a replacement like for Voltemada, Wissa's still a way off yet and could potentially be, even though they've highlighted somewhere around the 11th of November for him to come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be rushing him.
That's what I'm saying. Are we going to get? What's going to really rack me off though? We get him ready and fit, and I think this will be. Yeah, and this could be another little bit of work under the scenes by Eddie to say stay away. So that's what I'm saying. I think if you look at the bigger picture, do you want to lose Wissa in December? I don't. You know what I mean? To go back to Africa, I want to start seeing him playing a black and white shirt, which means at this present moment in time to get more out of Voltemada, I need to give him a rest. There's no way you can get a young lad. And somebody's put in the chat, and please, I don't want to sound condescending. I certainly don't want to diminish your opinion. But somebody says, come on, it's only October, and we're asking to give him a rest already. When you're doing this, because this isn't like our work where you switch off when you clock off. These guys, yeah, they get a lot given to them. They're paid a fortune. I understand, but the amount of work that the bodies go through, and like I say, it's Monday through to Friday, with 1 maybe 2 days off a week, post game that is, and then they're at it again. And it's a constant battle,
and they work
psychological. And like I say, when you're doing 9 to 12,
only 3 hours a day, man.
I know.
But it's 3 hours intense.
But
it's on the body, isn't it?
What we'll forget as well is with Wissa going across for AFCON, if he doesn't want to go, the only option he's really got is to retire from international football. If you can't just turn around and say, I'm not going to this game, I'm not going to that game, that's what he has to do.
Fingers crossed for...
Why have you got bars in front of you, lad?
I've got no idea. I think we must have some magic going on from the American mark somewhere.
Who's put the bars on?
But as I say, I think he needs to...
Just 2 secs, we're saying, observation, you numpty nerds. Swing.
As I say, the only way he's not going to go to AFCON if he's fit is by retiring.
Yes, Queenie Nurse Emmanuel, I'll warm me stethoscope.
Oh, dear.
And the other thing to ask you as well is, so are you not confident in us, the players that we'd be bringing in? If we do bring them in, would you not see that as like a positive thing in regards to being positive about them players as well?
I listen, I want to see rotation, but I want to see it managed properly. I don't want wholesale changes. So I would say we have got, if you exclude the wingers, who I think are pretty interchangeable. I think Murphy is the best right winger we've got, and I think Gordon's the best left winger we've got. But, bringing Barnes off the bench for Gordon or Elanga off the bench for Murphy, for me, is not diminishing the whole team by a huge amount. I think bringing one of the midfielders in to replace one of the tried and tested midfielders is not a massive thing to expect to be able to handle. I think even bringing in, one full-back and one centre-back at a time again, is not going to diminish, should not diminish the whole by a great deal. But if you do all of that together and in the process change the goalie as well, which I think will happen on Wednesday, I think Ramsdale will start on Wednesday, and he is a completely different goalie to Nick Pope. So you've then got the back four already having to adapt to a new goalkeeper, and you can argue they should have all of that sorted out in training and whatever. But it doesn't alter the fact that they know the way Pope plays. They know Chow still hasn't learned what not to do, but in terms of he has no qualms at all about passing back to Nick Pope.
He'll learn the right way.
I think his attitude is kind of, you should be able to do this. Get on with it.
Get on with it. Move on.
So basically, you don't trust the squad players. You don't trust the squad players to come in and be able to commit as much.
Individually, yes. Collectively, no.
Right. That's a real worry then is like a Newcastle fan looking at that saying...
Well, I don't think it's a worry at all. Because unless we get an injury situation similar to what we had 2 years ago, which is unheard of, then, that's what we've got. And if we do
on that, how many players did we say Tottenham have got out at the minute?
I think Gary said 7. I don't know.
How many players did
Tottenham? Tottenham have got 9 out.
How many players did we say Fulham had out at the weekend? Was it 6, 7?
6, I think.
Yeah. So it's not unheard of to have players out injured. So you've got to be able to rotate and be able to bring new players in.
The players that are out aren't necessarily cast iron first team players the way ours were 2 years ago.
But the reason that them players were out was because we didn't have the squad to rotate the team. We do have that opportunity now, and we've got to do it properly. We've got to rotate. I understand what you're saying. I completely agree that when you do rotate, it's putting players in who haven't necessarily built the bond up to work together, but they'll never build that bond up unless you do start rotating. And you have to, with the amount of games that we've got in the season, you've got to get used to rotation. It's not a bad thing.
But what I'm saying is that you're not giving those players a fair crack of the whip if you're bringing them into an already weakened side. Bringing those players into a strong side is different to bringing those players into a weakened side. Warren's saying, do you think we'll ever play 11v11 in training? I'm sure we do.
Yeah, but it's always mixed.
But it would be on that point, Win, who aren't strong enough to play in the team? Then you're saying we're bringing players into a weakened side. Who are the weak players?
What I'm saying is they're probably all do an adequate job, but not all together.
But you're saying you're bringing them into a weak side. Who are the weak players in that side?
Oh wow! 2 seconds. Alert! Queenie has gifted 5 NUFC Talk memberships, and they have gone to Stephen NUFC, Dogwater, Paul J, Kagiso Makaleli, and the mighty Tonali Smasher Fan Club.
Hey.
There you go. Thank you, Queenie.
Thank you, Queenie, as always. Gentlemen, I've just been reading very rudely, I suppose, while you guys have been chatting there. And Eddie Howe has no choice but to continue to rely on Newcastle star despite unrivaled workload. Dan Burn has spent longer on the pitch this season than any other outfield Newcastle player. And obviously he's now saying, Dan's 33, considered Newcastle United statesman, if you like. but his importance to this squad has never dwindled, and that has never been more apparent than how much Eddie Howe has relied on the England international this season. Burn started the season as a centre-half alongside Fabian Schär as the pair continued excellent relationship they struck up last season. He has since played in a back three alongside Malik Chow, Sven Botman, and after injury to Luis Valentino, the former Brighton defender has filled in as an emerging left-back. But there looks as if there's going to be no change to Dan Burn. Like I say, the only game he's missed this season is the 4-1 win over Bradford City in the Carabao Cup. He's played unmatched amount of minutes compared to any other outfield player. So it looks very much as though Dan Burn's in the squad.
And hasn't that got a lovely ring to it? Current England international player.
Well, like I said, it's funny how there was a lot of people out there saying that is this going to mar his international career by playing him out of position, and like I say, I think it goes to prove about a player's mentality, his commitment to the cause, and if you're a coach, an international coach, when you look at a player that's got that ability to step in if you need to go and have a go. You may not be the world's best, but at least you're willing to go and have to go and don't let the team down. I think he's the mantle of Burn. But the biggest problem is for me is the fact that are we really that short when it comes to fullbacks across the board, where you haven't got a youngster that is ready to step up to that next level. And I think that is, if you look at it from, and we've had a lot of fans especially during the saga with Isaac the Rat, we had a lot of people coming on board from other fan clubs, from other fan bases, I should say, who were saying, well, haven't you got an academy? Because they just don't know the history of what's gone on in the past. And I think we're starting to see the problems from never having an academy well run. I mean, obviously, there's still players there that potentially could make a move, but could they start? Never in a month of Sundays. And I think that is the difference now. Eddie's seen these games coming thick and fast, and instead of taking them out of the academy side to sit on a bench and warm it on a cold Wednesday evening, he'd rather see them play and develop that way.
I would say about that, I will be furious on Wednesday night if there's two keepers on the bench.
I totally agree. That was my next words.
Even though the academy's playing tonight, I'm sure if the circumstances arose for whatever reason that you had to put one of those players, let's say Murphy for the sake of argument, on the bench on Wednesday, and for a multitude of reasons that had to be called upon, I don't think the fact that they've played tonight would particularly affect the performance on Wednesday night.
The young lads.
His rotation knowledge is limited to chickens and kebabs.
I like a good old chicken kebab as well there, Warren. I don't think that...
and Queenie saying rotation is healthy. It's not a dirty word. How are you, the lads? Well, there you go, Queenie. You're on Bogey's side. I'll let you be there. That's not a problem.
I mean, like I say, I have no issues with rotation, but I do have issues with playing two keepers. I just think that just takes the Michael a little bit, if I'm honest. Like I say, there's no reasons why these lads can't come and sit on the bench. Like you say, they've played tonight. There's going to be very little chance of them actually coming and starting. The biggest, you said, what's the problem? Well, the problem is you're affecting the growth plates if you put too much emphasis on it. And we've already seen, Miley suffer with a hairline fracture of his back because of his growth plates and too much of intensity, if you like. So there's always an element of injury that can affect what they do in the future. I'm going to say it would take them out the career away from them, but it certainly can affect where they go in the future. So you have to weigh everything up. I understand that. But like I say, for me, I just think it's criminal. It's experience. I mean, tell me what the point is, right? You're bringing in a under 21s into a side to sit on the bench, get experience, feel the noise, feel the atmosphere, work with the first team, compared to a second keeper on the bench, who actually isn't going to do anything, who's got all the experience in the world, because we haven't got young keepers on the bench. And it was happy birthday to Ruddy the other day, wasn't it? Because it was Ruddy. Was he 39 the other day?
40, I think.
I think you went
These
to school
guys-
to win, so
These guys have passed their best now. So I think we've got to start giving a little bit of time for these young up and coming kids, not to play, but just gain the experience of being on the bench.
But Gary, why don't the pressers now, like Craig Hope, why does he never majorly question Eddie about putting two keepers on the bench? It's never mentioned.
Well,
surely,
funnily enough,
I think it's been mentioned once.
Well, I had the opportunity to converse with the Geordie journos, and I said, why the hell don't one of you ask, have we finally seen the last of two keepers on the bench? Watch this space.
Ah,
But it's
interesting.
taken a long time for them to do it, because
Exactly.
been doing it for years.
It maddens. It's one of the things that maddens me beyond. I don't know what.
Playing Dan Burner's left back.
No matter what, playing Dan Burnett left back.
Oh, bless.
There would be if Lewis Hall was fit. Absolutely, there would be. then we could start having the argument about who's playing left centre back. Hey,
That's the other thing, isn't it? It's like a case of, somebody's going to have to give soon, isn't it? When everybody's fit and available, something has to give. So,
No, you wouldn't be saying all this if Lewis Hall was healthy. We'd be saying the same thing every week.
Well, like I say, it'll be interesting to see
if Lewis Hall's fit, he plays left back, and Big Dan plays left centre back.
Yeah.
That's the argument then. Who's in for, is it Botman or Byrne?
The argument just for you, but anyway, I guess we got a whole hour and a half for this.
Right, then I'm going to say good night. I'm going to pass you over to the mighty American Mag.
Do me a favour, Gary. Will you send me Botman's pass map from Saturday?
Will do.
Yes,
I will speak to you all again tomorrow. Have a lovely rest of the evening. Take care, everybody.
Ciao.
Presser tomorrow, folks. Remember that.
Yeah, presser. Take care.
Right on. We'll see you later, Gary. Thank you very much indeed. And all of you out there listening, please don't forget to smash the like button. We continue another hour and a half of football talk here in NUFC talk. What do we got? We got champions. We got a lot of good topics tonight, by the way, gentlemen. Oh, what's going on here? Why is there we go. We got a lot of good topics.
An injury can happen anytime, anywhere. It's fatigue.
Yeah. Let me give you some headlines, though. What we got going on tonight is Champions League hurting Newcastle United. We're going to talk about that because Alan Shearer, somebody that knows Newcastle United well, said that I think he thinks it is. So we're going to talk about that. Opta predicts the final Premier League spots. Where is Newcastle United? Where is the Mackems? So where are the Mackems? So we're going to definitely get into that. We have season tickets now, but for how long? Will proper fans like the American Mag, like Boki, will they get an opportunity to go to the stadium and bring the proper atmosphere, unlike a few? Jurgen Strand Larsen issues a statement about what's going on in the Wolves. Of course, the famous phrase, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Well, in this particular case, the grass is greener on the other side. And for him, it could have been he did the right thing by not rioting, by showing up to work. And now look at him now, because Wolves, Boki, complete the phrase. Wolves are. Come on, man.
We are knackered.
Wolves are knackered.
Oh, the knackered. Sorry,
man. How was
I was just waiting for your music to come up.
Well, we're going to get into that. Let me get you the headlines first, man. How is Newcastle United feeling about Cordderero? That's something that we're not talking about. Italian media reacting to Newcastle United extending Tonali, that and more here on the late night show starts now.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Matey West, Andrew Boki, and the rest of the panel. Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
The voice of the Toon Army, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the late night show. It's me, it's Boki, it's Win. So, how's it going, lads? What's the weather in the Toon? No, I'd like to know the weather.
Miserable today.
Knackered at the moment. Well, there's always this misconception about Newcastle. It's the weather's bad. It's bad everywhere, man. It's bad over here. It's not ideal to say the least. It's so rainy, gray, a bit chilly. It's just the way it works. It's life. Thank you very much to Warren Denny, who's been donating to the channel. Appreciate you very much, mate. Thank you very much indeed. And all of you out there, Queen of Heart.
Man. If anyone can, Chris Tom can. Yo.
There you go. Thank you very much, Warren. Thank you very much, Queen of Heart, as well, helping the channel grow. So stay tuned. It's cold as usual, says Becca in the Toon. Well, I mean, again, the world is cold right now, unless you live in Florida. It's just the way it is.
What happened to all this global warming?
Oh, that doesn't exist, man. That's we make money off of that. Not us, but some folks. But anyway, neither here nor there. Shall we not go that way? Let's not go there.
No politics,
man. No politics, or else Boki's gonna leave us. No. Thank you very much, all of you. Smash the like button, by the way. We got a long show ahead of us now. Is Champions League hurting Newcastle United? That's my question to everyone. Are we knackered because of that? Well, I mean, it's here. That's the question, because Alan Shearer, he was asked this on his football podcast, and he believes it is. Obviously, I don't think he believes that we shouldn't play Champions League, because it's clearly that wouldn't be. I would have thought something that he would promote. Only a mediocre person, like I've heard a few say, or some of the takes from a few here on this channel. Not everybody in particular, but some people in the channel. If it is what it is. But I mean, what's the solution? Not play Champions League? No.
Is he insinuating there, do you think, that our current Champions League campaign is affecting our current Premier League campaign?
Well,
because if that is what he's insinuating, then I disagree. I don't think the two.
Well, here we go. Let's get into the quotes then. Alan Shearer says European football is difficult for Newcastle United to deal with. Speaking on the latest episode of the Rest is Football podcast, Gary Lineker asked Alan Shearer if he believes European football is proven to be difficult to deal with for Newcastle United. He says, yeah, I think it is. He said, I think even if you've got the biggest of squads to play European football with the emotion, how draining it is and everything else, yeah, it does have an impact. There's no doubt about it. Also ends up with the more quotes here. The game after a European week, you've just got to get the result no matter how you get it. You've just got to get it. So Newcastle did that. I'm assuming against Fulham, of course. We got the result there. And ends with, so it was a big 3 points, and hopefully they can get their league season going now. But it's difficult to deal with, says Alan Shearer. I don't care how many, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Certainly we can't. Well, what's the solution? My question is, what's the solution? It can't. I know one solution that it can't be. one thing can't be a solution is not qualifying for Champions League every year. That can't be a solution, no matter what.
No, I agree.
So, thank you, Warren, for super chats. Very cold. There you go. Thank you very much. Jesus are evening all, evening Chris. Win in that fella who shall remain unnamed on the right. What's his name again? Pokey, Ropey, or something. There you go. Boki standing on his true beliefs, man.
At least he didn't go to Dopey.
There you go. But let's get into this, man. Let's have a good conversation. We got a lot to talk about, by the way. So don't act shy now, because we got standards here, man. We got a new CEO. What's his name? Hopkinson. Well, we got one here too, man. And he'll wipe you clean.
He's 100 day.
150 day on NUFC talk as well, man. So you better get to talking and make sense.
I don't think Shearer's right at all there, to be perfectly honest. I don't see Champions League as being a problem whatsoever. Champions League makes us a bigger club. It's getting international recognition. It's probably help will bring players in. We're getting more finances. I get what he's saying around that. It's obviously pulling on the squad, but that's why we spent so much money in the summer to make that squad better so we could play Champions League football. I really, really don't see his point of view that Champions League's doing we're bad. It's a great thing for the club, in my view.
And I agree with that.
Well, hold on.
Me and Bogey agreeing.
No, but I don't think Shearer is saying that. I think he essentially is pointing out what the problem is. Because I know, I don't know him obviously, but I mean I know how I want to think that he thinks, because being a competitor, I don't think he believes that the solution is for Newcastle not to play Champions League. I think he is saying that that's the reason why we haven't got going in the Premier League is because of Champions League. I think what he believes, and I'm assuming here, obviously, because I don't want to think that he thinks we shouldn't be qualifying for Europe, but I think he believes that we're going to have to get it sorted. We're going to have to get it sorted. That might be why we can't, we can't compete in all competitions, but we're going to have to get it sorted somehow. Something's got to give. I'm putting Win in jail, but it's an executive decision because he's been talking rubbish.
I was going to say, hang on. How come I'm in jail all of a sudden?
Yeah, well, I can't say that. I know what you're trying to do there, Warren, but either way, it's much appreciated, buddy lad. It's much appreciated, but we can't say certain things. But it was for him. Waldo Shearer stating the obvious there, and the obvious never. Oh well.
Well, the obvious is that obviously playing Champions League, playing any European competition, is an additional drain on the squad. But as Bogey says, I think we've got a perfectly ample squad for handling all competitions.
You've just been
without making wholesale changes.
Well, I will agree with Win on what he's saying earlier, though. By the way, I can say, I'm not shy. I can say the name Willie. Willie is a name of certain folks. Some named William by birth, or some, there's many. But there you go. Thank you very much, Warren. But I don't agree that. My issue is if the multiple competitions, because now we got to play Carabao Cup. Multiple competitions is the problem. It's not that you get to play all these competitions. The problem is that within the squad or the team, somebody's not getting not doing their job properly, to where we are affected by these multiple competitions. And that's the solution, getting that sorted. Whether it's the manager getting the doing his job, whether it's the players performing, but the solution cannot be to compete less. That cannot be that's a mediocre club, the one that thinks like that.
No, I don't think it. I don't think the Champions League. Wait a minute, like a Yanu back up there. Typical American acts, jailing people without charges. God bless America.
If you don't know what we're talking about, come on YouTube, NUFC Talk TV right
And
now.
we've got a 199 from Davey without saying anything. Thanks very much,
Well,
Davey.
I'm gonna use that 199 and resource it and put it onto putting you in jail. So there you go. We so it looks good in the books, because in the books it's like, wait a minute, Wynn was in jail without funding, proper funding. Well, here we go. 199 from Davey went for that cause right there. So there you go. Thank you very much, Davey. So yeah, I mean, why is Newcastle suffering though? I mean, we spent 200 million.
We know the reason. We know the reason that we're suffering in the Premier League, because we're not putting our chances away. And the primary reason for that is because we've been struggling for strikers all season. We've finally got Walter Marder in. We created 8 fantastic chances on Saturday and scored 2 goals. That's the problem.
When the problem in the Premier League is we've never got going. We're still...
We never got going.
The Fulham papered over a load of cracks by Bruno getting that late goal. But
but the point is,
we've never got going in the Premier League, and we've never played a big team in a cup that we've won against. So when we played Barcelona, we lost. The teams that we've won against are all poor teams, really. This season's never really got going. That's what needs to happen now. We need and it's partly us as fans. It's down to Eddie and it's down to the players. We all need to get this season starting to roll and get it going.
I think 3 wins on the trot is the start of that.
Yeah, but Boki does bring up a good point though, because
and the team as a whole are getting used to playing with Voltemada, which is a completely different animal to Isak.
But you can say that every season though, and that means you just you're like a hamster. You just keep going the same places. You're running 100 miles per hour.
Because for 3 seasons.
Because you can keep saying that you're always going to have injuries. You're always going to have new players. And if they all every season have to be acclimated to the team, and meanwhile, we're losing points, that just can't be. You're running like a hamster.
No. But what I'm saying is, for 3 seasons, we did improve, and Isak's numbers improved because we were developing the system around that, and then all of a sudden the wheels are knocked off with Isak's antics. And we've got to start again. And we've started again. And we're gradually getting acclimatized. The players are getting settled in. And very, very shortly, you'll see, when we get Wissa back, when we've got choices there, when we've got proper choices from the bench, when Ramsey's fully fit and hopefully producing the goods, when Elanga eventually starts hitting the ground running, which he hasn't done yet, then it'll all start coming together. I've got every faith that will happen.
But when you can't do that every season, this is every season under Eddie Howe now that we don't start very well. And I hope you're completely right that we do pick up and we start to get better. That's great, and let's hope it happens. But you can't keep going season to season.
Natural progression.
But it's not. You can't keep going season to season after season if having poor starts. We're always playing catch up. It feels at the start of the season.
Well, you got to admit that's true, though. Win. You have to admit that's true. We always playing catch up.
We have been notoriously bad starters.
Because that run you mentioned last.
And hang on, and that has been because in the windows and bear in mind we had 3 windows where we couldn't buy anybody, we had to sell. But in the windows when we have actually brought players in to improve, so take you back to the 2 when we first qualified for the Champions League, we brought in 2 proper quality, potentially first-team players in Tonali and Barnes. Well, without them both for nearly the full season. And that was what money was spent. So we didn't improve at all.
This is what you do. You deflect from the question that we've asked, which is, why are we such slow starters?
Well, I've just explained why.
But you haven't. You've went on to the seasons and what's happened with players that we've signed. Why is Eddie not able to get the team set up and started off right at the start of the season?
Because the players that we've had hitherto are not good enough.
So the players not good enough every season. They're not good enough. The players.
Well, yeah, they would be if they were fit and available, but they haven't been ever.
So
good enough once we get 9-10 games in.
He has not had ever fit players. So what about Tottenham has injuries now?
Well, yeah, every team gets injuries, right? What about our marquee signings this summer? Voldemort didn't play for the first 4 games.
That's not on Voldemort. That's on Eddie.
Well, how's it on Eddie?
No, Eddie Howe didn't play Voldemort against Barcelona, for example, and you know that Gordon missed 2 shots to score a proper goal before they even scored, or they could even score. And you agree that was a fault. He could have played there.
I would have definitely played Voldemort against Barcelona. That's the Champions League. That's not the league. It's the league we're talking about.
Well, but the Champions League effectively affects the league performance because you have to play all the time.
To start the season, we're talking about winning. Why under Eddie do we never start a season well?
And what I'm saying is that there's been reasons why.
So what are the reasons?
The reasons are that the players that were brought in the window haven't been available.
Only Wissa hasn't been available, man.
And Ramsey hasn't been available.
Well, right, Ramsey's available now.
Well, he is available now, I know.
But out of midfielders, there's no change in the midfielders. You already played.
Well, no, because the problem we've had that many more times. The problem we've had is up top.
How many times has Eddie Howe tried to rotate and he said, I can't. I gotta play the same players all the time. When he could have played Ramsey the other day, he played Miley instead of him.
All the time we had Isaac, we didn't have a ready-made replacement for him because Wilson was always injured.
Here's the interesting thing, though, man. Because I actually agree with you.
Wilson wasn't injured. We had one of the best seasons. We had the best season I've ever witnessed.
I actually agree with you and not Boki with the. I don't think that you can in no club in the world unless they really have same amount of talent on the bench and on the pitch. I don't know who it would be, what team ever, that will rotate no matter what, regardless of the circumstances. I think you can only rotate on special occasions. When you play Bradford City, when you play Bromley, when you play those, then you can make massive rotations. So I disagree with Boki that this is a must-win game Wednesday against Tottenham, and it's Tottenham. They're doing all right this season. They're third. They got good talent. You have to put all the meat on the grill if you want to beat Tottenham, even at St. James's Park. There's no St. James's Park. I always want to play at home. Always. I always want to play at home mainly because I don't have to listen to win on the watch along. Second of all, because I like the atmosphere and everything else. So when you go on, Liverpool. Wait, don't take it the wrong way, brother. But my point is,
Warren saying Bogey Ratatouille back season start. Fact.
Shout out to Warren, man.
And he said, ridiculous, Chris. Bogey is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Ridiculous, Chris and Bogey. It's not an excuse. It's a fact.
It's a
correct.
fact,
yeah. And he goes on to say, Michael Montes in my 2 pound time. Bill for win. Toon. Cheers, Michael, son. Cheers.
There you go, mate. There you go, Michael. My thing is, I don't. I want to finish my point, but I don't think that you can rotate against them. I think you got to put all the meat on the grill. And if you play Champions League on Saturday, it won't happen. But if you play say you play for the league, we need points right now, so we are desperate. You got to play your best again on Sunday. And if we play Champions League the following midweek, which I don't think we do we? Or do we? Yeah, we do. Don't we against Atletico Bilbao, maybe, or win? Pay attention, man. I'm talking to you. What are you doing?
Listening.
I just asked you a question, literally. Anyway, if we play Champions League the following midweek, next week,
which we do,
you got to put the best, because Champions League you need to put the best players, because for the Premier League right now you have to play the best players. Maybe that rotation, Boki, could be in place if we had enough points to find around with, but we don't. We
That's
don't.
what I
That's
was-
Well, you see, I would disagree. I would rather rotate against West Ham.
but you can't. You can't win. You can't, because you barely beat Wolves 1-0, because you barely beat Fulham.
We
see
didn't
what I'm
barely beat Fulham at all.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We did,
did
mate.
win.
We won. We did. Because the law of the land. Remember, the scoreboard says that, and we suffer that game, no matter what.
And do you want me to go through all the chances we missed?
No, that's fine. But we don't score them. Man. We don't score them. We don't score them. No matter, you can say all of that.
Yes.
That
So
can be
just
said about-
wait till we get everybody back.
Unfortunately, we don't have time to wait. We have to put the best players on against West Ham. We have to put the best players for the Champions League. We have to put the best players on Wednesday in 2 days from now for Tottenham. I don't think we can rotate as Boki wants.
Chris,
We cannot.
the problem is with that. I think that super chat's really important. Firstly, before I start,
Yeah, go on, Charles. Please put Will back.
The Norwegian krona.
And Trolls usually doesn't show up at night. So thank you very much, Trolls. And you got it, mate. Lockdown.
but I think we do have to rotate there, Chris. Even though you're quite correct that we've had a poor start to the season and that there's issues, there's a lot of issues, but it's a long season, and if we don't rotate now, you're going to set yourself up for issues later into the season when players are out injured because we've played them game in, game out every game.
Yeah, but I mean the core you can take Joe Linton out and put Ramsey, and I don't have an issue with that. Nothing at all. No issue at all. But you can't take Tonali out. You can't take Bruno out right now. You can't take the center backs out. You can't take the center forward out. So it's essentially this is you've got to have and I know Warren doesn't want to hear it, but you do have to put all the meat on the grill, man. You have to. You have to. You have to, man. You have to put it on there. Because these matter. I'm sorry,
But if
what I heard today, no, I think it was from you as well, because I want to challenge you on this, Boki, because I
Yeah.
could not believe what you said earlier on. I think it was you. If we keep talking as if we are governed by Ashley, by Bruce, by Joe Kinnear and all these guys. Rest in peace, Joe Kinnear. By the way, he passed away not the other day, but the other few years ago.
Recently.
When you don't know about that, we were live. I think when we said this. He remembers.
No, that was Glenn Roder.
No, man. We were live back in the day when he passed away, Joe Kinnear, and you said you despised him. But those days are long gone. Because you said if we get eliminated in the Carabao Cup, it is what it is. We'll have another competition. No. I cannot allow. I don't allow anything. Anybody can say whatever they want. But I cannot fathom the thought of a fan telling me that it is what it is if we get eliminated. No.
You're out your mind, man.
We've got to win all competitions if we can. And you never know. I mean, the possibilities of us winning everything obviously is not an easy thing. However, we got to try. We got to try.
Give it a go.
There you
Let's
go.
have some beer.
All right, come on now. Let's get into the conversation. Stop looking at the chat, man. The chat will come in. Let's talk. Come on. Let's talk football.
I'd agree that we don't want to go out of competitions, Chris. But what the point I was making wasn't that I wanted to go out the Carabao Cup. The point I was making was that we can't. You can't. If we did go out, we can't blame Eddie Howe if he does rotate. So if Eddie Howe's rotating the squad round, there's no issues with that in my view because it's the right thing to do. If we then pop out the cup, then that you can't call him for that. So
No.
But I would be calling him for that. If we field a weakened team,
Yeah,
I'd be on Eddie's back.
Well, first of all, you would.
You keep saying weakened team. This is the best squad according to you we've ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best
There are
squad.
only few players around.
bro,
You're
that's
not.
probably
You're not.
true.
you're not weakening the team.
Of course, you're weakening the team. You're inevitably weakening the team if you take one of your best players out and replace him with somebody who's on the bench.
Naya put me in jail. Listen, I'm telling you, man. Gandhi was in jail once upon a time, so I'm happy with that. But we cannot. And now you're supposed to be on my side, man. We're supposed to win and try to win everything. You know, I mean, this rotating. I'm assuming you're saying rotating isn't change. You know, the vast majority of play as if you're playing against Bradford City. I'm assuming that, because if you mean rotators and take Joe Linton out, then obviously I don't disagree with you, because it is what it is. But you cannot change your main core. That cannot happen. Were you saying that?
No, I wasn't saying change the main core. I actually said change one of the midfielders, keep the back two as they are. You've got to rotate them two lads at left back and right back, because in the 30s, you've got to give them a rest at some point. Sorry, this is going nuts.
It's going absolutely nuts.
Change, baby.
Chris Bale,
I'm out.
mighty jailed.
But you can't keep playing two 30-year-old fullbacks game in.
Well,
game
I
out,
agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. Well, I mean, you can probably rotate Tripper out for Kraft. I don't think there's an issue. Let me go with Super Chat because they're piling up now, and I'm going to start. I got it. Win. Ian Fleming, I'm very upset. Brendan Rodgers has left Celtic. I blame Win. Keep him locked up. So there you go. That's one for Win. Chris Willis, David T. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Trolls keep Win jail, so you're already knackered. Queen of Heart taking care of the American man. We already know what's up. Thank you very much. Cuff says, did you compare yourself to Gandhi, Chris? Back in jail you go. There you go. So I think, and listen, man, we all been jail. And it's the greatest have been jail before wrongly, but they have for speaking the truth, baby, for speaking the truth. But as far as right now, I guess me and Win are in the camp. But we'll get this sorted. I just think that we don't have enough. And if Eddie Howe does that, I'm telling you, I think critical thinking fans, objective thinking fans will have an issue with that. If we were able to get kicked out of the competition for rotating too much. Now, Opta, ladies and gentlemen, Newcastle World is sharing this. The Opta is basically letting everybody know where Newcastle, where the league standings are going to be. I don't know why this thing is not showing me here, though. I'll try to find it as soon as possible, but they're basically telling us what they predict the league would be ending. And they got Forest just above relegation, by the way. And Leeds, staying in the Premier League. Fulham not six, but with 44 points. So they're going from, down and up. The Mackems with 46 points they got them finishing 14th. Do you guys think that the Mackems will fall back to where they belong? I think so as well.
I think that depending on how badly they're hit with all the Africans going to AFCON, I think they're showing that they've probably got enough to avoid relegation.
If I was a Sunderland fan right now and I was offered 14th, I'd snap your hands off, to be honest.
Absolutely.
That's a brilliant result for them this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who's up that got going down then?
Well, I just told you, man. Pay attention, Win. Lord have mercy, man. Leave the chat alone. You're like a little kid, man. Warren, thank you, goodness gracious. Chris, jailbait. There you go. Got me out there. They got Wolves getting relegated. They got, let me see here.
Burnley, obviously.
Opta is like a gambling thing, right? Like a gambling website, something like that.
No, like football
stats.
Yeah, based on stats, they got West Ham getting relegated, 19th. If that happens to me, that would be devastating for. I mean, that would be a huge loss for the Premier League because West Ham are a Premier League team. So, but Burnley 38 points, finishing above them. Forest getting relegated with 17th with 38 points. That's what they got. based on stats. I mean, they're not having a good time. By the way, we're going to talk about the price tag that they put on what's his name. Newcastle are not going to pay that. I know that much. They got the Mackhams with 46 points, Everton 48. They have, let me see here, Brentford with 12th in the league, finishing 12th. Brighton 11th. Tottenham Hotspur 10th. That's a bit surprising. Manchester United 9th. We haven't gotten to Newcastle yet. So there you go. Man U 9th. They got Crystal Palace at 8th place. Mercy. And Newcastle United with 7th place. I wouldn't be happy with that either, by the way. I would not be happy with that. I think that's not a good look. They got Bournemouth above us. Come on, man. What's going on here? Aston Villa in 5th place. Aston Villa.
No, I can't. I cannot say Villa finishing above us.
Chelsea in 4th. They got Liverpool 3rd. They got City 2nd and Arsenal winning the league. That's what they got Opta right now. They got us in 7th, man. I don't think that's not good enough right there. That's not going to get it done.
Unless we win a cup and final of the Champions League or something.
Fifth in the league is not good enough win. No matter what you say, fifth in the
league is not good enough.
7th in the league is not good enough.
It depends.
We've gone backwards from 5th, and it doesn't depend on anything. The league is your bread and butter, and if you're going backwards in the league, you're going backwards as a football club.
Well, I agree with that. I mean,
there's a reasonable argument for saying that, but if
without being dramatic, obviously,
as I say, the competition at the top of the Premiership now is such that it's small margins that differentiate between.
You were able to squeeze that in, but that's not true. Anybody can beat anybody in the Premier League as far as the top teams. Lower teams like Forest can't beat nobody, Wolves can't beat nobody, and Fulham can't beat nobody. And so West Ham can't beat nobody. I think I mentioned that maybe. All these teams, Burnley can't beat anybody. Leeds barely getting there. They can't beat anybody. Everton suffering as well. Brighton, everybody said this is a decent team. They beat us like a drum the other day, but they were 13th in the league. So this notion that anybody can beat anybody is absolutely a fallacy. To a certain extent, no, I'm not going to go there, but it's a fallacy nonetheless.
Chris, it's spin. Everything that they say like that is just spin.
Spin,
Spin
news.
Yeah, what you need to say is that you've been beaten by a team, and if it's not right that you should have been beaten by a team, you need to call it out, not just go, "Oh, anybody can beat anybody." It's not an answer.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Well, you don't think it's an answer. I do think it's an answer.
I'm not going back to my list win, but we can if you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there though. Mighty win, but it's okay. It is 10:05 in Newcastle upon time.
7th would be disappointing to say the least, but it would depend on how we'd fared in all the other competitions. If we win the FA Cup and finish 7th, I'll be over the moon, bunny lad.
The CEO of Newcastle United said last week, results are not based on words; they're based in actions, more or less. So success is based in not based in words, but in action. So we got to get these points. It is 10:05 in Newcastle upon time, 7 Celsius. 7, man. I look at single digits to me being American, and I'm like, whoa, that is knackered. But in reality, for proper metrics, it is 45 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's a bit chilly though. I'm not gonna lie. That's a bit chilly. Did you put your logs in, Win? You put your logs in your burner? You got
we have gas central heating here, man. We don't have log burners.
You gotta put your logs in, man. You don't go and harvest your wood.
No.
Oh way, man. What the? You got to go and cut your wood, you axe it down, bring it up in the house, load it up, and then you every now and then, every you can take a while, but you can put every 4 or 5 hours, put some more in there. I don't have that, but I know some folks.
What we do is we just turn a knob.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Some super chats here. Thank you very much, all of you, really, for doing this. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Helps us going very much. Boki, you're a Macam, and Cam 14th is the dad race. I'm not sure what he's saying to say there, but thank you very much, Warren. And Boki is not a
14.
but Boki's not a Macam, but he did have some sins of the past that we shall not bring up anymore. Sheila, thank you very much. Free Mighty One, Gel Boki. She feels left out. Ooh, Boki now in jail, man. Locked up. Thank you very much, Sheila. And Waza says it's all about small margins. You had to slip it in. There you go. Small margins, man. Small margins. Thank you very much, all of you, for tuning in. We're still got a long 53 minutes to go here on NUFC Talk. It is the late night show with Chris, the American Mag. What's his name? The old man, Derek, and you got both. You know what's crazy though. That came to me because I want to do this to you because you do that with Gary all the time. You call him Barry, like, what's the matter with you, man? What is the matter with you? You do it all the time, and sometimes
you don't do it all the time.
I think Gary just lets it go sometimes. Because and then you obviously don't catch it, but it just you keep on going. Yeah, Barry, blah blah blah. What is the matter with you, man? Have a good one. Have a good one out there. All right, so Newcastle United have season tickets, but for how long, ladies and gentlemen? For how long? So
forever and ever. Oh man.
There is a long article on One Football. It's put in by a season ticket holder, I think. Where they were talking, to, I think he's one of the writers for One Football for the Northeast, and he was saying that he was in a family enclosure, blah blah blah. They talked about the winning goal against Fulham, etc. That's interesting. It says me and the lad sit in the family enclosure. What kind of seat is that? Is that a 30?
You can only get that seat
in level 7.
Yeah, that's for an adult and a child. You buy a pair of tickets or 3 tickets sometimes, adult and 2 children.
And you have your own little box.
No, you're just in the stand, but the seats are obviously cheaper for the kids to encourage families to go. But the problem, what's happening right now is, as I understand it, obviously kids age. And when the kids are 18, they have to get an adult ticket.
Well, here's interesting. Look, let me read
this. Don't get an adult ticket, which obviously costs a lot more, and a lot of them are not then taken up.
Let me get into that. The lad is turning 20 next month, and when he became an adult, I was bracing myself for the club to tell us that we were no longer welcome in that part of the ground. I was expecting this because it had already happened to a mate of mine. Although when that occurred, the lad that sits behind us was the exact same age, and he and his dad weren't turfed out. That was the beginning of the 23-24 season, and there was no rhyme nor reason as to why my mate and his son had been offered more expensive seats in what I consider the worst part of the ground. Where would that be at? Is that the...
Well, level 7's in the Leazer's end.
The tallest part.
It's the biggest walk up, basically.
So it would be nosebleed then.
Yeah.
It's you need a respirator, oxygenation to get to the top of the steps. Very fans are.
I had to get halfway up last time. I had to get a pint when I was halfway up last time.
My first answer to this is you're lucky you got a season ticket, and you got 2 of them. Let alone not only one, you got 2, and one for your son. That's got to be the best experience ever. You got one for your son and yourself. What else? I got 2 sons, so imagine trying to get 3 season tickets. If I wanted to, it would be knackering. I mean, you couldn't. So, but I guess they didn't take that ticket away, but there's a fear amongst fans within the stadium. I guess they have. I guess this particular person has conversations, and that season tickets might be going away at some point. I don't see that happening really, but again, I could see some
I
of
tell
the.
you what will be happening. The prices will be going up. And that's it's like any other commodity. It's supply and demand, and when demand exceeds supply, prices rise. Simple as.
So
At
they're
the
in the
minute,
leases and.
at the
Sorry,
minute,
go
what
on.
they're trying to do is judge between season ticket holders. So, but if they're slightly less than season ticket holders, as far as I can see, but trying to judge how much they can charge for individual tickets for games, and then the season tickets, as you say, will go up to what they feel they could get for the games anyway.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, for example, now we are in the dearest section right now, apart from the platinum and the executive end. So we're in the east stand, main stand, not the lower level, and Chris's ticket now was $9.50, which works out near enough 50 quid a game. I can see those tickets probably doubling.
Well,
And
here the
if,
prices
and
for
if,
their
and if,
tickets.
if they do, then I won't be able to afford it. Simple as. And if I can't afford it, that's unfair and hard to bear, son. We all want things in life that we can't afford. And if I can't afford it and somebody else can afford it, then good luck to them.
So
Tough, but true.
let's talk about prices because this story continues. Says they're in the leases in now and are paying a total of. So I guess the club relocated them. It's nice that they would work with you though, because some say it is what it is. Your kid's old now, so they're in the leases in now and are paying a total of £1,127 for the privilege, as opposed to 966. I'm assuming when the Baron was a Baron and not an adult, they would have been paying. As opposed to the £966 they would have been paying had they retained the seats they occupied for the last dozen years in the family enclosure, blah, blah, blah. So when this guy's son turned 22, the price will increase to 1,526. But that's for two seats.
For two seats. So that's right. They'll be paying about 700 quid.
That is nothing, though.
Currently, where we are paying, I mean, mine's 700 because I've got the pensioner rate.
I'm telling you this. The season ticket. I mean, the prices. They're incredibly low. They're too cheap.
Exactly, they are.
So when they went,
they're amongst the lowest in the Prem.
Because when they went up,
the only thing that I would argue against that is that right now, in terms of total revenue for the club, the actual price paid for bums on seats is almost irrelevant now. The ticket revenue in comparison to television, whereas at one time ticket revenue was the overriding source of revenue for a club, now advertising and sponsorship are way exceeding that, and that will just continue to the differential between the two will continue, and it's the merchandising and the refreshments and all that they make their money off.
Well, first of all, thank you, Rebecca, for that super chat.
Thank you, Becca.
Release Wodja. I mean Boogie.
There you go, releasing him. And thank you, Warren, for that super chat earlier on as well. Chris Talk TV, love it, man. You're liberated. Well, listen, I just mentioned a name. That's all I did. But so my thing is, in America, for example, season ticket. There are season tickets, but nobody really talks about them because in America, it feels like in sports, people just want to. You do have season tickets though, in a sense, but not. It's not as popular. It's not a really a thing. But stadiums get filled up every week. Even this St. Louis here at St. Louis City is what the team is called. It's a new team, and it gets filled. It gets filled up every week. And the stadium is about 20 something thousand though, or 30 ish.
I think it was
But
18,000 last time I looked.
but but the thing is, it's not really a popular sport as of now. Is getting there, but people go in it every week. Some say
Getting
that
into the habit.
I'm just saying, you telling me that Newcastle wouldn't want to just get rid of some of these and then, pay more for the tickets or raise the ticket
No.
prices up and then allow people to just buy them as they go. I don't see how that wouldn't work either. You might say that
Because they need the security of getting that, guaranteeing that money. Because if they did away with season tickets completely and you were buying on a match by match basis, and all of a sudden we started having a poxy season, then people would stop going.
And Chris, what you've got to think of as well is I've said this since the takeover, and I've said it on this channel a lot. We don't want to end up like some Man City or places like that where there's no proper fans. I mean, I call Win. Win is a proper fan. And you start to price them out of the games, and you end
but
up with
that's going to happen anyway.
But it will. But you're right. But it'll end up with a prawn sandwich brigade in there, and there's no atmosphere. And is it then the same Newcastle United that we've supported for all these years?
Well, but one of the reasons why they say that season tickets, some complain about the season tickets, but the prices are cheap. However, some say the prices are cheap because of the area, because the Northeast, there's no money, people are poor, blah, blah, blah. How true that is, I have no clue. You guys tell me. But what I know is that local fans buy merchandise from Newcastle as if it's bred in a hungry country. I mean, so, this poor region of England, maybe I couldn't tell you different, but they sure play like it ain't. Some you're gonna tell me that a jacket of close to 300 pounds gets sold out within hours and people are going hungry? You explain to me how that works.
But
to me, it shouldn't work.
That's not the point we're making, though, Chris. The point we're making is that for like some my family, if you put the season tickets up to, say, 60, 70 quid, your youngsters are up to 30, 40 quid, there's no way you can afford to go out on a Saturday afternoon and pay £110 out. And I know it sounds strange to probably Americans because these are used to doing that, but we're not over here. And,
that in a sense is true. I'm not trying to argue that, but if you convert that into a season ticket to where it adds up being 130 per game, people will buy that season ticket though. Still, and it's the same thing.
Some people will, and that's the point. They will sell the season tickets even if they do that, but then you're losing the proper fans from this. I
don't think money has anything to do with that though, man. Being a proper fan and money. Some people, there are rich people in Newcastle, man. What?
There's rich people.
There's not 30,000.
No.
Yeah, well, just like the world, there's more poor people or regular people than rich people. That's obvious. But the point is, you're going to tell me that, first of all, the prices are going up, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that the prices are going to go up.
But if you remember,
it's where they go to.
For example,
it's dead simple. It'll be market. Market will decide. They'll keep on putting the prices up and putting the prices up and putting the prices up until they reach a point where they put them up that far that they don't sell them all.
But what really worried me was when we had that the Man City fan on the channel who was a brilliant lad and talked a load of sense. But a lot of what he talked about was finance and sort of how other teams were trying to outdo them financially-wise. And that's not I don't want to start thinking of Newcastle United in a money sort of way. I still want to think of them and be able to get annoyed with the players, be able to get annoyed with the manager. You know what I mean? And not just be able to get annoyed with the money side of it. And that's my huge worry with this whole takeover is that
sadly, that is the reality of the situation we're living in.
But it's not what I want for that club. And I know it'll happen. It will happen. But
I want to ask you guys this then.
It will happen if you want to be successful.
Interesting. I guess got a Sports Direct advert on this channel, but listen, we have nothing to do with that. But here we go. But it seems to be a Pete take. But I want to ask you then. I mean, why are you guys correlating being able to spend 1,500, say just 1,500 pounds on a season ticket for one person? Is it? But look at. Have you seen Arsenal's season ticket? Like $5,000.
Fulham, weirdly enough, are the dearest.
And so, but how is that equating to? How is somebody being able to pay that, or somebody having money, a good job, being paid a good amount of money? Some of them are not rich, but some may be rich. How does that equate to not having atmosphere?
How does that equate to the same fact? Well, Chris, I can answer this one quickly. Look at cup games. The atmosphere at a cup game is completely different to an atmosphere at a Premier League game. And the reason is because you've got the proper fans. Sorry, that's an awful thing to say. That's wrong. Take that back. You've got different fans in a Premier League game who are used to being at the game, who have been going for years and years and years and understand football, understand when the team need some things and when the team don't need to get on the back. And that's the massive difference. And you just lose that full atmosphere in cup games when you haven't got those committed fans who are willing to spend the money on a season ticket.
I mean, I just don't see how somebody having a good job and money makes them a fan that doesn't want to sing or get up or move, especially in Newcastle, where no matter where you are or how you were raised or whatever, or your situation financially, you would assume you're a fan. It's because of how the culture is. It's not like
yeah, exactly. But the reason the culture is what it is because the 90% of the crowd is full on working class.
Yeah, but that's everywhere, though. That's everywhere. You're gonna tell me that all Arsenal fans are rich? All Man City fans are rich? All Chelsea fans are rich? No, the vast majority people, they're rich people everywhere, but they're the minority. Really, there's no such thing as a stadium of 30,000 people. They're all rich. It doesn't exist, man. But you go. So people,
that's why the atmosphere is different at the park than everywhere else.
The atmosphere in Manchester City is in draws. Is that because 40,000 rich fans, millionaires go to the stadium instead now?
Well,
then
it's a couple of things at Man City. It's a stadium for one, which is not a football stadium, and it's
it's not losing the fan base. That's the losing the
definitely. Whereas when you had it at Main Road, when you had 50,000 Mancunians standing in the rain and cheering their heads off, it was a different 50,000 to the 60,000 they've got now at the Etihad.
I don't know what the season ticket for Fulham is, but if it's more than Newcastle's, I'm not
3,000.
I'm giving that away. I'm becoming a Newcastle fan. All for we got about the same colors anyway, so come on to the dark side.
What you have to think with Fulham though is, Chris, that their ground's a hell of a lot smaller.
Well, that's true.
They're in London, man. They're in the posh end of London.
They're in the posh end of London, and their ground is so.
We talk about this money, and we don't want to spend money, but this is true though. Becca saying cost me about 350 quid for 2 hospitality tickets. I'm pretty sure I've paid. I'm sorry. I've known people that paid around that for one, not two. I don't know what game you were going to. Maybe to watch Bromley in Newcastle, but so this notion that we're not already charging people. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, you're talking about hospitality tickets there, man, where you're getting your meal and your
what meal? No. Hold on. I was in the platinum tickets. I didn't get a free meal. All I got is a lobby of people that I can talk to. That's all I got. And I could buy
you only paid 70 quid.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Chris,
Yes, you did.
If you go into the box, go into one of the corporate boxes at Newcastle, you get in there about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game. You get a starter, you get a fish and a meat platter starter. You then get your full meal. You get at half time, so you get sort of a beef bouillon or something like that, and some chicken or anything that you want. And then you get a pudding
Cheese
at the end
board.
of the game. You get a cheese board. Yep, I forgot about that. You get a cheese board, then you get a pudding, and then after all that, you
Soup
get
there if you want it.
a soup there, and you get a pizza. Once it's a little bit later into the night, and you can stay in the box for a little while. So, but you do pay a fortune for that. You're talking 300-400 quid at least per person for a box, and there's only 10 people in there.
Yeah, and the only way that a fan, you tell me though, because the only way that a fan that doesn't have a season ticket to get in to watch the game is to have to pay a crazy amount of money. These working fans, these poor fan folks that you're talking about, they're forced to pay 300-400 quid to watch a game.
Except by and large, they don't.
No.
By and large, the corporate places are bought by companies. And the companies give them away as perks and incentives to employees and to potential customers.
That is what happens. But there are fans also that are looking. A lot of international fans. That's the only way they can get into it. A lot of fans in Newcastle. That's the only way they can really go.
And again, with all due respect, that's different because if I was, you know, a Pats fan, a New England Patriots fan, which they are my NFL team. If I was going to America and going to a Pats game, which is going to be like a very rare occasion, I wouldn't mind paying. It's cost us whatever to get over there. Another couple of 100 quid, 300 quid's not going to make any difference.
I'm just saying there are people in Newcastle that have to do that though.
I think what you have to remember in this,
have to do that. She had to do that.
What you have to remember in this area as well is the average salary is about £35,000 a year, if that.
If that.
Below. Yep. In fact, it's not that. It's a lot lower than that. But we'll use £35,000 a year as an example. If you're going to the match with you and your kid, out of your wages each month, the amount that you're paying to go to that game is a massive percentage of your wages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. We always like to talk about ticketing because it's a topic that keeps on giving because it just never stops. I mean, people, and I tell you, man, if we get an 80,000 stadium, people will still complain that people can't get in. Trust me. Now, unfortunately, having a big stadium does that mean the prices will get lower? More people in? I don't think so. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Newcastle fans, I guarantee you, will continue to show up. I guarantee, just like nobody thought, because of the hard-working people that don't have the money, they blew out the dang jacket of almost 300 quid out of the park. How and why? Why? The working people, they ain't got no money to spend 300 something on the jacket. But I bet you that day they did. So you tell me every shirt gets sold out and everything. We just sell, man. We sell, ladies and gentlemen. We sell, and Toon fans buy them. It is 10:30 at night in the UK, and of course in Newcastle upon Tyne. We got more coming up. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all the super chatters for tuning in on the Late Night Show.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek DeMadiwan, Andrew Boki, and the rest of the panel. Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Lads, the grass is always greener on the other side, maybe. Maybe that's the phrase we need to use. Strand Larsen, he issues a statement, obviously, because did you guys see what happened, man? their manager was all fighting. They were all fighting the fans. It took me back flashbacks to the Ashley era. I don't think though that they ever got into like the manager. Well, I mean, I know I can remember a few times where the crowd, went at the managers, but the manager was
Pod, you noted the opposition player once.
no. Papa, I remember when Pardew was heavily criticized because he was almost backing Mike Ashley. Remember that? And I like Pardew, by the way, but that wasn't.
You did a good job. There's no doubt about that.
No, but the fact that he would, he would almost defend Mike Ashley to us. You can tell something was going in.
He did have a vested interest at the time.
The sort number was very clear in Mike Ashley's mind. I learned that, by the way. Dealing with these guys in the UK, you need a sort number, and Mike Ashley did have Pardew's sort number very much memorized because he was out there defending them and everything. Certain fans didn't like that, but the Wolves manager was coming out, was yelling at the fans. It's a very toxic environment. We could have had this kid from Wolves. He wanted to join Newcastle, no doubt about it. Before even Walter Mata came into the picture. Remember that. What could have been if Larsen came to the Toon? Was he going to score the goal? Well, to be fair, how is he faring with Walter Mata and the other? He's got 3 goals as opposed to 5 for Walter Mata. So is that really a big of a difference? 3 to 5. I mean, you would say 3 for Wolves.
Walter Mata is a better player than Strand Larsen as well.
Well, you could say so, yeah. As far as players,
I think Strand Larsen would have been on top of. I mean, at the time we hadn't done the Wisser deal. It was the Wisser deal that was the final deal. That was done with 30 seconds to spare and counting. That came on the back of not being able to get Strand Larsen. That was why we paid as much for Wisser as we did, because by then we were absolutely desperate to get a striker.
Yeah, we were going for him, but Wolves didn't want to sell him. They just didn't want to sell him, and he listened. He didn't do the Isak. He didn't do the Wissa, and now the young lad is what is he, Boki?
Knackered.
Knackered. Why you? Hey, press your cough button, man. People listening don't want to hear you cough, man. Jesus, man, this guy. Why anyway? What's not funny, man? It's not funny. But yeah, the Wolves are proper knackered this year, man. And how long Wolves been in the league though for a while now in the Premier League? They haven't gone down, but it's going to be this year. Better believe it. It's going to be this year.
Well, there's still time for the Mackhams.
What's wrong with you, man? You drink some water, man. Drink some water, man. I'll speak. I got buttons to speak for you.
Right, there you go. You're out your mind. Are you stupid or what?
No. I've just spent the last 30 years of my life as a taxi driver, but I spend most of my time now at my local working man's club, Gosforthemberg Club. Can I give them a mention?
Well, you just have to.
You already did, man. What do you mean give them a mention? You already took you already said it, man.
I didn't give them the option of saying no.
And by the way, that's supposed to be your pub, and now you say the Vic, and now you don't even go to the Vic. You're just a flip flop, man. You don't claim anybody, man. You're just what do you call those wolves that go by themselves all forever? Not
a lone wolf.
No, but there's another name. Nomad. You go nomad, man. You got no loyalties whatsoever.
I'm
a Bedouin. I'm always in my bed.
He's going very upmarket. Chris, he had us in the Millburn the other night?
Where were you?
Oh, the Millstone.
The Millstone, sorry.
Millstone. Oh, yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to that one, the Millstone?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Why you go to posh places, man? Well, that is a Gosford is a posh place, in Newcastle.
So it's only 50 yards from the Vic.
Where's the other one? Man, I have it in my head now. What? Desmond? Is that what it's called? Jessamine with a J. Jessamine, yeah. They say it's a pub. That's where
you went at the restaurant.
Oh no, but Darrett Hall.
Darris Hall.
Oh, Darris Hall's for you.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I know my place is in Newcastle, baby. You know, I'm a Geordie, baby. I'm a Geordie.
Footballers Road, Darris Hall.
All right. Now, but we could have went to Nobi Solano's house. We met him at the pub. What was the pub? Pub called. He always goes. What is it?
Blackies, Blacksmith's Arms.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And now he's managing, I think, Pakistan or something like that. Good luck to him, man. Pakistan, knackered. By the way, former Toon manager Benitez is going to manage now Panathinaikos.
Panathinaikos, yeah. Good luck.
In Greece. So there you go. If you want to, she's complaining that we're not reading the super chats. What's up with the super chats here? Let me see what we got here. Because yeah, know what he gets upset. You know, we've been reading them, by the way. Boki, you emotional? Would you care for? I don't even know what.
Hungry.
You gotta be careful. Okay, never mind. You know, I'm just wary when it comes to Warren, man. I don't know. Boki, there you go. He sent that twice. Might of Narn. What is that? Read that, man.
Heston Boaksworth with another menu. That was when we were on about the hospitality and the food, and he's saying and he's comparing Boaky to Heston Blumenthal, the celebrity chef.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you know what? You didn't even say nothing, man. Come on now. Warren knows what's up, man. We get busy. We have a good conversation. But Strand Larsen, I mean, interesting topic there. But yeah, I mean, will we be in for him at all? Because he's a proper center forward, maybe a backup player. Maybe I don't know though. Osula is lighting it up, man.
Well, apparently the rat tripped over a blade of grass. That grass that was greener.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that too. I saw that. Well, listen, he's not performing, but you know, you would assume he will at some point. But it's not working out, man. It's not working out.
Well, I'm telling you, if we geared our whole attack to him, and Liverpool ain't going to do that, and Liverpool players are not going to do that.
Yeah,
there's an old saying, isn't it, about being a big fish in a little pond and a little fish in a big pond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think he's choosing to be a little tadpole, isn't he?
A little tadpole in an ocean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So interesting. Let's talk about loanees, and I want to get people's opinions on this in the live chat on YouTube. And what do you think? I know I want to get your whys. I want to get all of you guys, Becca, Michael, everybody's opinion, Warren, everybody's opinion, Queen of Heart, Ian Fleming, everybody in the chat about our loanee Cordderero.
Hello.
So
loan arrangements.
Well, that's definitely something we can talk about. But how Newcastle United feel about Antonio Cordero's loan nightmare? Because this is a new chapter in the debacle, really, of what it is our loan manager and the loanee department, whoever it may be, just a couple of guys from the Leases Park just came in and said, hey, man, you guys are going to be in charge of loans here. That guy that Mighty Wind didn't want to give a tap to, he's probably hired in there because we're knackered in there, man. Cordero's loan move to Newcastle United to KVC Westerlo is not going to plan. Well, first of all, if you tell me KVC Westerlo I can tell you it's not going to go to plan. To number one, by looking at that name, Newcastle United signed
and then the Belgian First Division.
No. But anybody's First Division in Belgium. There's always, hey, come on, man. You know, we have to have 19 teams at least, so they're gonna fill in whatever they can. They're gonna fill in the gaps. So Newcastle United signed Cordero during the summer transfer window, with the young Spaniard arriving on a free from Malaga. The Magpies have high hopes for Cordero, and the plan was always to send them out on loan rather than playing in the Newcastle United youth setup. I don't understand why he has to be in the youth setup or loaned out. Play him in the first team. Give him the opportunity. I said it at the time when he came here. I said it was a travesty that he was going to go loaned out and he wasn't going to work out. And look what has happened now. Wynn said, it is what it is. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
No, Wynn said just let him stay at Malaga for another season, where he was getting games every week.
Man, this guy is a proper talent, man. Proper talent. I mean, you know,
Well,
we just...
He can't be. He can't be, because if he was this talent, he should be shining in a team like the minnow that is Westerlo, as you were saying. So why is he not shining for them?
When you going to defend this?
If he is, why would they possibly not be selecting him for the first?
First of all, you're going to defend this loan move? Is that what you're trying to do right now?
No, I'm not going to defend his loan move.
So,
what I'm saying is he might not be this super talent that you think he is.
I know there's a 100-day review. I know there's a 100-day review going on at the club at the minute.
Oh, man.
Not everything. I think it should have took 100 seconds to say to Shola, pack your bags and get out. You're absolutely rubbish. You name me a decent player a decent loan deal that he's done for us.
Well, there's only two that you can name, and that's Elliot Anderson and Minty.
When both
come on,
Elliot Anderson when he was at Bristol, and Minty when he went to.
But come on, Shola's doing absolutely nothing.
That's 2 out of, I don't know, 50, 60.
Yeah. He's useless. Just get a decent.
Certainly, his record definitely says that. Because for not a single, well, okay, I'm saying not a single. Strangely, the two that were successes we had to get rid of for PSR. They were arguably the only two successes that we've had.
Man, for all we know, in Belgium, man, they got they got the same person cooking the food, managing the team, driving the bus. So I mean, what are we on about? We're not going to use KVC Westerlo as he doesn't play for Westerlo, so now all of a sudden he's a rubbish player. Come on, man. Don't do that, man. Cordderero was lighting it up. They didn't want to
look at it logically. Right. So if he is this super talented footballer, why can he not get a game for this little club who's got the same bus driver and team coach and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Because you can't. Come on, man. You can't play for a team like that. I don't even know if that was part of the contract. Maybe they did tell him we were going to loan him out, but loan him out where, man? You can't. I don't even. Not even people. I don't know where is that what the place there is at? Westerlo? Is that what it's called? Westerlo City?
Westerlo, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. People that are born in Westerlo don't even want to play for Westerlo when they grow up, man. They want to go and play for everybody else, in Belgium. Who else we got in there? Is Braga from Belgium?
Braga.
No, Prague.
No, Braga's Portuguese.
No, that's not that. No, man. No. There's Zabre or something like that. One of the team. They don't want to play for this team. I know that's a fact. So. What are Newcastle United officials thinking? They wanted the 18-year-old to go out and gain even more senior experience following his Malaga exploits, and the decision was made to send him to Belgium. So far, that has proven to be a bad decision, according to NUFC officials, and this is from Chris Wolf, by the way. Cordderero has barely played for KVC, making just 6 appearances in total. All of those appearances have come as a substitute, with the attacker's longest outing being 45 minutes. Cordderero is becoming the latest Newcastle United youngster to endure a nightmare out on loan, much to the dismay of Toon supporters. When everything is great, according to him, he's fine. KVC, prop-up team.
Everything is definitely not fine in the loan department.
Champions League qualifying team right there, KVC. There will surely be disappointment from Newcastle officials too, and the Athletic's Chris Wolf has provided an update on Antonio Corddero's situation. Wolf states that Newcastle United were hoping that Cordderero would play more minutes with the teenager yet to even start a single game for this new club. There is a concern whether or not that is the case. We'll only discover when if he benefited from this. will only be discovered when he returns to Tyneside, which clearly, I mean, nothing's going to change.
He's got to go.
Who? Shola. Yeah,
For me,
I do worry about Eddie as well. Over young players, we're bringing young players into the club, and Eddie isn't promoting them at all through to the team.
Well, but maybe that's the case. Let me go with the super chat there from Warren. Shola is that good to say?
Codswallop.
Yeah,
We've had
nice.
a nice host in Jasmine Dean.
Nice who's in the and isn't there? There you go.
Did you ever
Thank
see?
I was pretty sure he lived in Venom myself, like, but never
Did you
mind.
ever see Shola when he did the show for MTV about his house? He was going around the house and he's going, "This is
you're
a
talking about-
beautiful settee. This is the best settee in the Northeast." Then he moved on like a music system. This is the best music system that you can buy in the Northeast. He was funny as hell.
Thank you very much. Why there says love this regular podcast. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Appreciate you. You know why? But so when you want to just talk about something else instead of calling out Shola, you just want to move on. You're scared.
Well, I am calling out Shola.
All right, man. 'Cause I just thought you kept saying the KBC, top team and all that stuff.
No, what I'm doubting is Cordero's ability.
First of all, just keep this in mind.
I cannot see. It makes no logical sense if this kid is super talent that we were hoping he was gonna be. I cannot understand why he can't nail down by simply being so much better in training than everybody else. Why you can't nail down a first team place?
First of all, you can look at it this way. You know that managers are stubborn, and if they don't want you, they don't want you. There are players that teams make acquisition of these players that the manager doesn't want. Therefore, they don't play them. It happens all the time. So could it be that the manager doesn't want him? It's happened before. It happens all the time. And if you were to bring a player that Eddie Howe didn't want, do you think he'll play him? No, he won't. So I'm just saying, man. Thank you very much, Warren. What are you going to do when the amnesty
whips and chains amnesty rules come in, Becca?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Warren. Appreciate you very much. Sheila B. the vote. There you go. Thank you very much, Warren, for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chats, Bunny lad. Appreciate it. I'm just saying, man. This kid didn't just. My counter to you would be, this kid didn't just become the worst player in the world when he was. Malaga were upset that that he left, and there were reports that Real Madrid and Barcelona were interested.
Well, so we heard. I didn't see him going to them. And I think if they had seriously been interested, he would have gone to them as opposed to us.
Well, surely, but if
Malaga are in the Spanish second division,
but win. Why not? With a lad like that, keep him at the club, put him in the under 21 squad.
I agree.
And then rather than putting two keepers on the bench, bring that lad in as a bench player.
It's an option. That is a wonderful.
Because maybe, just maybe, he's not that good.
But Rudy is to be on the bench.
No, you're not going to get me on the two keepers on the bench because I think
even Park 2 could be playing. By the way, how did the under-21 do today? They played against Crystal Palace.
They won 2-0.
There you go. We need to.
And
we need to start doing something with that.
Sung, wonderful assist again.
Oh, there you go. See, he seems to be doing something. Playing on the under-21 for Newcastle is better than playing for KFC in Belgium. So you know what I mean with KFC, lovely chicken, man.
He's going to be playing for Burger King in Holland shortly.
Come on, man! I'm just saying.
He's going to be a burger.
Italian meltdown, though. So warning! The Italian media in meltdown over Newcastle United's secret deal with Sandro Tonali. They were expecting the lad to come back sooner rather than later. The Italian media in meltdown over this. Newcastle United secretly renewed Sandro Tonali's contract as the news has not gone down well on the continent over there where spaghetti is made. A wider conspiracy about how much AC Milan knew about the situation emerged. Remember, even you were part of that conspiracy theory, making documentaries on Netflix about how AC Milan
No
knew.
way Milan didn't know that ban was coming round the corner. No way on God's green earth did they know
And
that
they
ban wasn't coming round the corner. And they said,
and they
right, cash in quick.
But when would you still have signed that, lad?
Probably not.
Where we are now with him, knowing where we are now with him, would you have signed him?
Well, you would never have known that, would you? That's the point.
what a
No,
take,
but
by the way.
knowing where we are now, would you have signed him?
What, if I had a bit bokey 2020 hindsight? Of course I would have signed him.
Perfect.
There you go.
Brilliant player.
But the trouble is, there's no such thing as 2020
No,
hindsight.
but I'm not saying 20. I'm saying if you knew where
And
we were
I'm
getting
saying
with
if
that lad,
I'd known when I was looking to buy him that I wasn't going to be able to play him for a year after I signed him, I would have said no way, Jose.
but I'm saying where we are now, you wouldn't have signed him.
Best midfielder in
midfielder in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. He wouldn't sign him. That's kind of odd. But what a comment by Jesus are, by the way. Parker's doing well because he never got loaned out. Fact. And that is a fact nonetheless.
Yeah, I'd
But
go
stop
along
loaning
with
players
that.
out. Unless they're going to go to a team where they're really going to play and they're really relevant in their respective leagues, you don't have to loan them out. Don't. Playing at KFC is the same as playing at under 21. So
I'd be very, very wary now about loaning players
everybody's
out to foreign leagues.
well, there you go. But not foreign leagues. But I mean, you can go to Marseille, you can go to Monaco, you can go to these Galatasaray
They're not going to want our loanees, man. They're not going to
you
be.
never know that. You never know that. You never know that. You never know, man.
I know he was brilliant for AC Milan.
It can do better than KFC in Belgium.
Well, yes, exactly. That's the point I'm making.
And Colonel Sanders. So, but the Italian media says, as expected, the press have not reacted to it well. Tutto Mercato says that still claim that Newcastle could sell Tonali for 80 million euros. It's a far cry. Improvement says that, right? Man, I don't think that's going to happen. La Gazzetta dello Sport appeared resigned to the fact that Tonali will not be leaving St. James's Park anytime soon. As with the Alexander Isak situation in the summer, the Magpies will hold all the cards should any club target the midfielder. But that's as relevant as wins. Takes on the matter. Really, having a contract, it's irrelevant. At this point in time, the player wants to leave. The player left with Alexander Isak, so I don't think that's a good example. But not everybody's the same.
What we do need to do with Tonali as well is still give him a pay rise, not necessarily change his contract or anything, but just give him that pay rise that he deserves.
I agree with that as well.
Certainly need that. Certainly need it. Super chat here from Waza says, "True, keep the prospects here. We need them 100%." On that, we can all agree. It seems like you sobered up there, Warren. That's good on that last comment there. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to be honest. We like to keep you on the defense. And you're gonna get 100% honesty in this channel, man. Straightforward. By the way, just a bit of quick news here.
Talk.
Ticket application window open for Everton trip. So if you want to go away to Everton, to Liverpool and watch Everton and Newcastle, then you can certainly apply to get a ticket there. How many points you got?
32. How many do you need for Everton?
But you probably
200.
No, well, actually, let me see here. Okay, so here we go. Phase 1, Monday, 27th of October, which is today, 2 p.m. You already should have been there. Ticket application opens for all season ticket holders to apply. It doesn't say how many points you need, though, here. Let me see here.
It will do.
It will maybe in a minute. Phase 2, Tuesday, 28th of October, 2 p.m.
That'll drop to 150.
The ticket application window closes. The club will process all submissions allocating tickets in a loyalty point order. We will also ballot a small number of tickets to those who do not meet the loyalty. Hey, there you go, man. If you don't meet the loyalty point threshold, there you go. Ticket application. There you go, man. Come on. Tomorrow, 28th, Tuesday. Phase 3, Wednesday. Go on, Bucky, sorry.
Sorry, mate. There'll be a lot of fans want to go to that one because it's the first chance to go to Everton's new stadium as well, isn't it?
Never been there, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. Phase 3, Wednesday, 29th of October, 2 p.m. Supporters who are successful in the application process will now be emailed with a window to go online and purchase their tickets for the fixture. Tickets will be sold using a sell-your-own-seat model, giving fans the flexibility to choose where they sit and who they sit alongside, whether friends or family.
Sell your own seat.
Yeah, that's in quotes. It's kind of a model, so it's kind of odd.
That means
Prices: adults £30, senior 65 plus. When you're not part of it, you're part of the regular adult, man. Senior 65 plus. I'm not speaking about win. £25. £25 to go to an away game in the Premier League. That is, I just can't. It's an American. That's like mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Under 18s, £20. So there you go. I don't see the amount of points though here. I got the whole thing here in front of me. But either way, go to the website and you shall see how many. 200 points. That's a lot of points from Everton, man.
Exactly, 200 points, and it'll drop to 100. It'll drop to 150, maybe tomorrow.
By the way, ID checks will continue for the 25-26 season to uphold the integrity of the loyal point system. Well, that's kind of, they do that for the loyal point system, but not when you gotta get tickets to little kids in Dundee. But there you go. That is that, ladies and gentlemen, as far as that's concerned. A very important thing and dear to my heart, one that Jesus certainly I would believe will be happy about, which is Newcastle United will commence a Remembrance Day tribute to service personnel ahead of the midweek fixture against Tottenham Hotspur in 2 days from now. Puppy pin badges all over the place for the Toon. I think that War Flags will do something as usual. You can show your support for their team and for the Royal British Legion with Newcastle United puppy pin badges on sale in official club stores at St. James's Park and the Metro Centre. Priced at £6 each. All profits benefit the work of the Royal British Legion. Listen, man, if you got it in your heart to support the man who freed your country, support the man who gave you the right to be a free country and to be a democratic country. They're the ones that died for freedom, the freedom of the free world, really, over there in the UK, here in the US. Support them, regardless. If there is room for disagreement, they are the reason why you get to do that, because they gave their lives for you. And
let's us never forget that's
the crowd. This was last Remembrance Day. The crowd, everybody on that seat had, this to hold up. Some were black, some were green, some were red to form the big poppy. But the good thing was, as you were holding this up as part of the crowd display, on the back of it, so you're holding up, you can read, "Today, as the players take to the field, War Flags invite you to join us in a display to honour those who sacrificed their lives in search of freedom and peace. Please raise this card with the blank or coloured side facing the pitch and hold this in position for the duration of the silence. This, combined with the banners and static flags, will formulate an image in a display of great sorrow and gratitude for those lives which were sadly lost, protecting our freedoms. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Normandy, the largest seaborne invasion in history, where Allied forces stormed the beaches, codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword, in an attempt to overthrow Adolf Hitler's fascist Nazi regime. The battle, beginning on D-Day, lasted 12 weeks, was a success. Allied forces finally made a significant breakthrough into Western Europe, although at a cost of 156,000 casualties and the loss of 4,000 servicemen. We will remember them. Fortified,
That's right.
defended, triumphant.
We will always remember them. And again, the reason why we get to disagree, where we get to have freedom to say whatever the hell we want, is simply because of these fallen soldiers, because they gave their lives for everyone. And I know that, of course, even my wife is, joking around in there in the chat. But at the end of the day, we all know here that it's not politics. It is soldiers that gave their lives for the free world. That's in the UK. That's in Ireland. That's in Scotland. That's in the US. That's obviously you guys got your own thing in the UK in a way, all mixed up. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. They serve the same purpose. It's to give us freedom. So either way, that's going to be on Wednesday. So support the fallen heroes and
Cheeky twat. Fantastic, love this. Thank God you survived, Win.
wait. Hey, let me tell you something. Somebody didn't want to join and skipped and skipped. Somebody skipped, and that's we will never give up. We give up your secret when he was absent during the draft. He wasn't. He wasn't there. He got sick. He pulled the Trump. He was sick. He couldn't go.
Indeed, lest we forget.
Lest we forget. And that's Corey right there in Australia, of course. The Queensland down there. It ain't the Queensland no more, man. They want the independence too, man.
Well, it's a Kingsland now.
The Kingsland now.
Kingsland, it would be, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that is true. Anyways, folks, it's been a lovely show. Lovely night. Late night show here. 11 p.m., 11:03 in the UK. We will see you back tomorrow. Late night show and early night show with Gary and Boki and Win. And yeah.
And presumably, is there a presser tomorrow?
Oh, and the presser. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, you cannot forget that. Presser, ladies and gentlemen, 9:10 in the morning in the UK. We got the presser, of course, so join us for that one. Thank you very much, Harry. Warren, well, that must be your name as well, as you put it there. Warren, thank you very much for your kind donations, buddy. Andrew Barnwick, of course, Warren, multiple times. Thank you very much. Queen of Heart, gifting 5 memberships away. I mean, you're a superstar. Thank you very much. And also super chatting. Warren there in the building. Hell Susar as well. And by the way, happy Veterans Day. But of course, you're a veteran, and I'm sure you'll be happy of what the Toon is going to do on Wednesday. Davey T, thank you very much for the super chat there. Michael McIntyre, Trolls in the building as well. Niall Powell, Ian Fleming. Man, we had a lot tonight. James Cuff as well in there. I don't want to forget nobody. Rebecca, who also said, let's not forget our fallen soldiers. There you go. You know why in the building. There you go. Thank you very much, all of you folks. We will see you all on the next one. Take care.
We got Trolls there at the very end saying, put Win back in jail.
That was earlier on, man.